Hello, my darlings. Hello and good evening, everyone. For those of you who are here already, if not, maybe joining in later, I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm going to make this a quick one. Even though I am bored, it's a Friday, I should be sleeping, but I can't because my body clock is all over the place. I haven't slept properly in 4 days. Really should get some sleep. Oh, that's a potent mixture of pomegranate juice and coconut water, and it is potent. I don't know anyone's out there. Maybe not. There's a few people who seem to have rolled in. Well, we'll wait for a few people to just say howdy doody before we get going. Maybe that someone will show up, maybe not. To be honest, I don't really care. I do, I have started a stream link. I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Although, is it too early? It might be too early. Okay. You can sit in the back chat if you're here too early, and when I'm ready, I'll bring you on the panel. I don't want to open the panel just yet. I still have a bit of rantings to do. I wish to rant. As you can see, I'm here from my bed again. Welcome to my boudoir, as some would say. This is literally a YouTuber from his bedroom. Not even just his bedroom. Bed. I am broadcasting from literally my bed. Anyway, I have the mood lighting though for you all. Mood. For the right mood to be presented. Although I had to put another extra light up there because I felt the lighting is this camera is just very grainy. I'm not entirely sure how much light I need to give this frigging thing for it not to be grainy, but it's always just got this graininess to it. Maybe it's just the camera's shite. I think the camera's just shite. Just a little shite. But that's okay. That's okay. We will persist. We shall not be moved. Okay. Big up. Oh, Ultra in the house. Big up, Ultra. Yeah, I'm here chilling, and I'm about to pwn some simping atheists. I'll be honest, Ultra. Some of the atheists in this atheist sort of realm are full on simps, man. Full on simps. And I'm gonna expose them. I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, this is the problem with these atheists. Is these atheists are also progressives, and so they have to square the circle between their progressive BS and their sort of attack. For example, on Islam, there was one I saved. I hope I saved it. Where did I save it? Oh God, I hope I saved it. Oh, no, I'm gonna have to. Oh shit, it's not there. Let me see. Where did I save it? But yeah, I saved this clip of Atheist Republic with Armin Navabi. Navabi. Armin Navadi. No, Navabi. I was right. Armin Navabi. Armin is God. He is sickeningly leftist. This is the problem. They are so fucking left. Harris is worse than Armin because Armin comes off like a troll. Well, maybe, but they're both friggin' blue pill simps, man. Blue pill simps to the core. And the thing is, in this particular case, Thingy was actually quite right. What's his name? Vidu Vids was actually on the money with what he was saying, and his instincts were correct. And I'm afraid, unfortunately, I think peer pressure or just generally pressure of him being on their platform they kind of yielded. He yielded to sort of submission, or they kind of convinced him, or they didn't convince him. I don't think they convinced him. He just simply submitted at the end of this conversation, which I will bring up. Which is a recent conversation on the I think they call it the Secular Jihadists channel. I think they do one one or two shows a week with exactly. Vidu's instincts were spot on with this one. His instincts were right, and his instincts, he should have listened to his instincts and doubled down. Instead, he folded at the end because supposedly, quote unquote, they convinced him. But I don't think he was convinced. I think he knew his instincts were right on this, and he went, because he's not as much of a blue pill simp as these other two. But those two are just fucking insufferably blue pilled sometimes. And there was another segment which I said I don't think I can find it now. Let me see if I can find it on the Atheist Republic channel. But I suppose I should get into the video first, get our bit out of the way, and then we can maybe get into it. I don't know. It's just they produce so much freaking videos every day. It becomes nigh on impossible to keep up. Actually, no, I found it. I found the video. I'll actually see if we can get into this one as well.
Sweden's
shush. Yeah, that is just sickeningly leftist. I've kind of noticed that too, Banksy. Vidu is the only one with a working. Exactly, dude. Exactly. And I'm not afraid to call out bullshit on atheists. Just because they're atheists, that doesn't mean they've got it right. They just happen to be, I think on the same. We're in the same page when it comes to God and religion. But when it comes to their politics and the way they demonize certain individuals, which in this case they're going to demonize Tristan Tate, I feel that they're full of shit. They're absolutely full of shit, and that is that I got into it actually with a few of their simping commenters as well, and I'll show you some of the comments I got into. And again, on principle, I'm not saying that. I'm going to repeat this over the course of my review of this video, but over the I'm not gonna deny that what Tristan Tate is doing or saying is a good thing. He is ethically and morally, I think, in the wrong, but he is not to be demonized for what men do. Men do this. He is not at fault for doing what he does. It is actually the person who is allowing this, and the parents of that person who's allowing this. And I will get into it. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this S show. We got a few people checking us out. Greek Christian, big up. Ultra, of course, my man, brother from another mother. And who else? DS, 100%. It was sad to see Vidu do that. Yeah, DS has seen it already. You see, some of you guys are already red-pilled up the wazoo. Okay, then, let's get into this BS ting. Let's see. Okay, here we are. So yeah, that's what I really wanted, is to open up a discussion on this. And I've got the link in there, so if you guys want to just chat about it, I'm happy to jump on the, to do the panel with it as well. But let's kick this bad boy off.
Is just as big of an idiot as he is. Look at this one. So he's also gotten in. I think I shared this screenshot of his before.
Okay, the little background. They're talking about Tristan Tate.
His old
people. Like, do they not have maybe hire a good lawyer with all that money to tells you to shut up? Like,
the lawyer is probably saying shut up, but these guys just not listening to the lawyers. These narcissists will not be listening. Watch this, and let me make a prediction. He's going to sack his lawyers as well very soon. But anyway, so this guy, remember, guys, 30 is the first year you can legally fuck women half your age. Again, this is Tristan Tate saying they're horrible views. But technically, there's a technical problem there that, and here he's bragging about it. Listen to this.
One of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17. That's legal, by the way, here. I don't know if it's 18 in your crazy country. One of my main...
So he's bragging about it, but there's a technical problem here that when he actually made that statement, the legal age was 15, but then it was raised. Where is it? Where's that? I think.
How is it technically wrong if the legal age was 15 and then it was raised later if he had sex with her when she was 17 anyway? I mean, as far as Britain is concerned, legal age is 16, and he had sex with her at 17. Again, I'm not condoning the fact that he did this. I don't personally agree with this, but the blame I don't put on Tristan Tate. The blame I put is, number one, the girl. Number one, the parents. Sorry. Number one, the parents of the girl, and number two, the girl herself. These are the two groups that have agency. You can't. Again, you're blaming someone who's maybe a little bit. Yeah, okay. You could say he's morally and ethically in the wrong here. Maybe having sex with 17-year-olds as a 30-odd-year-old man isn't ideal, and I wouldn't recommend it because generally it's a little bit, I don't know, icky. I think 20 is a better age. I would personally think the legal age for sex should be around 20 or 18. But I know why they've done this in certain countries, especially where teenagers are going to have sex, so you can't. You don't want to put 16-year-old boys in prison because they had sex with a 16-year-old girl because they just, or 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. There's a lot of countries who have those kind of age groups, but only the age gap between the man and the boy, or the man and the girl, or the girl and the boy has to be within a couple of years. So like 18 and 16, or 17 and 16, that sort of thing, because they're obviously teenagers, and teenagers are horny creatures, and they're just going to have sex, and we don't want to be putting in prison teenagers all day long. So for that reason, a lot of countries have those sort of laws. So I can understand why they would do that, have like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old age of consent, but only when there's only a couple of year gap between them. That way it stops predatory older men to try to prey on younger girls, which I can totally get, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. But as long as you're abiding by a legal law, if the country's law is saying to you this is the line, then that's it. I mean, Mick Jagger had a baby at like 70 or 80 or some shit with like a 30 or 28-year-old woman. I mean, if you say the legal, these people, I'll bet you any money, if Andrew Tate was 45, 50 and had a 20 to a 22-year-old, they would still snigger. They would still be like, oh, look at him, he's gone with a child, even though the woman could be 20 plus. So these people who hate these individuals, then they're not doing this because of its legality, because they're hating on these individuals because of the fact that they hate these individuals. That's the core takeaway from this, is that these guys are sniggering. Even if the girl was 20, they would still probably snigger. But nevertheless, this guy, he's boasting. I mean, clearly these Tate brothers boast a lot, and he's boasting about how he takes virgins. And let's be honest, in the West, I'm surprised he can find a 17-year-old that's a virgin. I'm amazed he managed to find a 17-year-old in a Western society that's still a virgin. That's a fucking diamond in the desert. That's a needle in the haystack by itself. Most of these girls nowadays are losing their virginities at like 12, 13. It's ridiculous. Again, goes back to the parents. Where the hell the parents at? But of course, we all know they've been raised in single-parent families, and the mother is too busy doing 2 different jobs in order to give a shit about where her daughter is. So unfortunately, that's the situation we're in, and there's a wider societal problem that you have to fix. So for me, that was my main thing. But let's keep going. Let's see how these guys I think they just hate on these individuals. And this to me just shows the visceral hate that they have for Tristan. It's nothing to do with what he's done, whether it's legal or illegal.
She makes that point somewhere else. But anyway, that besides the point, it's not that deep. But listen to this one. Is this guy or these guys are the role models of the conservative people? Listen to this.
Yeah, actually,
let me warn you.
Let
me warn you. These views are extremely annoying.
Game like me and meet the women who I meet and roll in the circles I meet. You meet beautiful virgins sometimes. Me, I'll do 2 or 3 virgins a year. Now, how do you date a virgin?
Okay. Let me just say, I immediately call bullshit on that. He does 2 or 3 virgins a year. he deflowers 2 or 3 virgins a year. Is that really? Really? I'm calling immediate bullshit on that. A lot of the stuff the Tate brothers say is a little bit excessive. But keep going.
When you're an ice cold player, there
just bragging. But anyway,
wait, let it play.
is a tactic.
Are you sure?
Which I'm going to share with you on how to date a virgin and how to take.
There's music in there.
Okay.
Now the recipe hasn't changed, but the tactics and the implementation has certainly changed. Be their boyfriend for 3 months and be in a nice relationship.
Yeah.
That is the recipe. I'm sorry, guys. You want to run into a virgin and fuck her the next day? Don't ask me how. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. I don't even think it's possible. You have to be their boyfriend for an extended period of time. You then have to take her virginity on the 2nd month anniversary or something along those lines. And I'm going to teach you how to do it while still being in a Playboy lifestyle scenario. What you do with your virgin is you turn everything into a date. I need to go have a business lunch with my brother or my friends. I make sure she's there. I Uber her in, I Uber her out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. This is irrelevant shit. I really don't.
If I have to go for a home, if I have to go to a club, she's part of my double booking. Regardless of the restaurant, nothing about my life, doing my best to fucking my friends, nothing has changed in my life apart from there's some quiet girl next to me half the time when I'm out and I would otherwise be alone. But to her, in her mindset, Tristan is my boyfriend.
Ooh, what's wrong with that? Where the solicit? What do you mean? What's wrong with that? Come on, you're the guy who's actually very monogamous. You're a guy. I mean, would you want to know? Would you?
Okay, you see, this is where Vidu starts to actually point out. Okay, first of all, what's wrong with that? If he's legally allowed to date this girl, big up, MC. If he's legally allowed to date this girl, he is. It's legal. That I don't see the problem with that as a legality or a legal issue or even a an issue. Of course, I see that as a moral and ethical issue from the parents. Why are their parents allowing this 16, 17-year-old teenager, essentially, I would put it, quote unquote child, but certainly someone of very young age, very impressionable. Where are the parents at? And why are they letting this girl go out with a 30-odd-year-old man? But if they are, Tristan isn't the one to be blamed for this. Men are inherently predatory because we have to. We are the hunters. They are the prey. And so, again, I don't see it as Tristan's problem to resolve. This is parents and, of course, the girl herself. But look at the way they go on about it, and look at the way Vidu is absolutely, his instincts were absolutely correct on this.
Would you want any girl, let alone, obviously it becomes more emotional when your own daughters and your sisters are involved, but would you want any woman to be taken advantage of like that when this guy is deliberately saying
willingly?
There's coercion. There's coercion.
There's a coercion.
This is like
there's no coercion in that. I didn't see any coercion in that.
There's no coercion
was there
in that.
coercion in that? Be honest, was there any coercion in that?
There's coercion in that.
This is okay. This is we need Susanna here. This sounds to me like cult behavior. This is like priming somebody for.
If a man asks a girl out and he's a high value man and she goes willingly with him because she wants to be at those restaurants, she wants to be at clubs. There are literally thousands of girls on Instagram who go to Dubai and have Saudi Arab men, Emirati men defecate on them. Is that coercion? They literally do video contracts where they talk about the things they're willing to do. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with Arabs defecating on Instagram models' chests is irrelevant. These women are willing to go to those lengths. This guy's just talking about he's taking the girl out to a friggin' lunch. And you guys are poo-pooing that. You guys are so incredibly judgmental about a guy taking a girl out to lunch, whilst there are Arab men who are literally defecating on Instagram models' chests. Women go to some extreme lengths for money. Go and ask any porn star and any OnlyFans model.
This is not an ethical behavior. If you mislead, so here we are. On one hand, we talk about, okay, we should not be lying to people, we should not be playing people, we should not be fooling people. But all of a sudden, a playboy. Hang on a second, Vidu. Being a playboy somehow becomes a very boastful and like, oh, I'm so happy I'm a playboy or something. That becomes very bullshit. All of a sudden, we want to give them a pass. He's admitting, he's saying, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna take her out, yeah. Like I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna keep a relationship with her for 2 months or something, and then I'm gonna F her. He's obviously got only one intention. He gets off. He gets off on sleeping with virgin girls at half his age. Now,
again, every one of you simping little bitches would love to have a gorgeous model who's a virgin. You would beg for that. That's your wet fucking dream. And you're only. I think this is absolute green-eyed jealousy that you know that you could never get the caliber of women that Tristan has had. That is 100% certain. This is just pure fucking spite and jealousy out of this one, and they're trying to wrap it up in some sort of moral conundrum or moral, ethical hill that they're gonna die on. That this is an ethical issue, and then they got such moral high standards. Bullshit. I call absolute bullshit on that.
Now, there's a lot of deception in there. This is not an ethical behavior, and let alone this is not a role model for conservative values.
Okay, conservative values, forget that for 1 second, because I'm not defending conservative values in this video, right? I'm just saying, from a they know Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have multiple chicks. Any girl that's seen them know that. And they have been openly said, I do not hide my relationships with any woman that I'm talking to. So if you're a chick and you get into a car with Andrew...
Yes, they're very open. They literally party with dozens and dozens of women, and all those women at those parties know that these two men are not exclusive to these two to any woman. If you're gonna go with them, you know that you're not getting an exclusive relationship there. Although it could be that this is part of potentially the manipulation where Tristan says she thinks I'm her boyfriend. But nevertheless, if she wants to convince herself of something that is blatantly not true, then that's up to her. We've seen it. We've seen on Just Pearly Things the interviews that she has had with delusional women. We know women delude themselves into thinking that ridiculous things, that they are top class, 1% women. There was a giant friggin' walrus sitting on Pearl's couch talking about she's a 10. She's on the same level as Rihanna. Come on. We know women delude themselves into thinking ridiculous things. Most of these women that go with Tristan and Tristan and Andrew have deluded themselves. They're the ones who are going to make this guy monogamous. You know women think that shit. You know they're the ones that go, I'm the one who's going to change him. He'll become monogamous for me because my pussy is gold. This pussy, you just can't get anywhere. As if that, this is the problem. Women think they're deluded all the time. They have delusional thinking all the time. You can't put that on the man. It is the woman's delusion that she thinks that she's going to turn him into a monogamous man. Not the fact that he's not hiding anything. He's partying with 6, 7, 10 other girls that night. And they probably have all sorts of degenerate threesomes and all sorts of other things as well. So it's this again. And notice the fact that they give no agency to the woman in this scenario. Women are all powerful, all feminism and all that fucking great. But when it comes to these sort of things, when a man is actually taking charge and he's able to choose from a plethora of women, now he's cultists. The fucking Armin said he's a cultist. This is cult behavior. He's a cultist when he's able to get multiple women. But when women girls are going to do it for them, sisters are doing it for themselves when they want to go to fucking work, when it's all about girl power, when they want it, it's all about girl power. But when it comes to a man taking advantage of what the women willingly are willing to do, oh, he's manipulating them. Women are infants, they're children, they can't think.
He does.
They don't. Wait. Let me do.
No. I've heard them multiple times say that if I'm dating someone, I'm very honest that I'm gonna have an open relationship from my side. I'm gonna have all these different girlfriends and wives, whatever it is. None of them hide that. So if you're a girl and now you're dating Andrew Tate or you're courting him, you already know that he doesn't hide his lifestyle. So if you're okay with that, that's on you. If you give your virginity to this guy who's banging chicks every other day, new chicks every other day, you might feel hurt, and I feel sorry for you. But who told you to get with him?
But this is misleading.
Precisely. See, video was fucking on the money here. Absolutely. If you are willing to delude yourself to think you're the one that's going to make Andrew or Tristan be monogamous with you, then that's on you. And we know women are the most delusional fucking sex on this planet.
How is he misleading if he's not hiding it? He's literally not hiding it. We're taking all the responsibility away from women. Women are completely no responsibility. They can be manipulated by anything and anyone.
No.
Right?
Okay.
I'm sorry. If you're gonna go with Andrew Tate, who does not hide his lifestyle, and then you get your virginity taken away.
So first of all,
unless he's locked you up in a dungeon, that's different. But if you're going into his Uber and car and parties and you enjoy it, and then he takes your virginity,
that's 16-year-old girl, a 16-year-old girl, a 15
why is 16-year-old with Andrew Tate?
Oh, by the way, Andrew said 17. They've now taken it down to 16 and 15. If you notice, they've created a straw man and a completely false representation. Now they're trying to make it out that he's now going into the realms of illegal. This is exactly, by the way, the dishonest kind of tactic that even that boring fucking Muslim guy Jordan M did with me. He kind of went, oh, well, you think 16 is, I bet if 15 was legal, you'd do it too. And I bit my tongue because I didn't want to say on his show, you literally worship a prophet that married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage at 9. I bit my tongue on that because I didn't want to go there and I didn't want to show him and insult his prophet in his face. But this is the kind of dishonest tactics that some of these, what I consider to be exceedingly dishonest people do. This is a very dishonest tactic to now start to go down the categories of the ages. Okay, then go all the way to Muhammad's marriage. Why not?
Why is 16-year-old Andrew Tate?
Yeah, so hang on. So that's grooming.
16-year-old boy, if you have sex with your teacher, you're still responsible on some level.
Yes, but men.
So
we know men and women behave differently. But we know men and women behave differently.
Either they're adults.
You see. Look at this. Look at how quickly they take away agency from women. Men and women behave differently. Women are little children. Women are forever infantilized. Whilst men, a 16-year-old boy has so much more agency than a 16-year-old girl. Apparently, even though there are plenty of cases of 16-year-olds and 14-year-olds that were seduced by their 20-odd-year-old teachers, and that is just as bad, that is just as despicable, but it never gets called out the way men get called out. But let me just rewind that a little bit.
Yes, but men. So we know men and women behave differently. But we know men and women behave differently.
Either they're adults or they're not.
No. What? No, they're not, and this is what I actually think.
Sorry, if you are hanging out with Andrew Tate, that's and Tristan Tate, you are being driven around in limousines,
you're making
and
excuses
and night parties.
You're making.
What do you think he's gonna offer you candy?
Vidu, you're making excuses for a groomer. You're making excuses for someone. Forget.
Oh, he's a groomer now. So courting women, dating them, taking them out to dinner, is grooming. Is tantamount to grooming. This is what I mean. This is why I see this as just unadulterated hatred of this individual. This isn't a fair critique of this individual. This is just visceral hatred of this individual. And taking a girl out to dinner is tantamount to inviting them to go to Syria and join ISIS, apparently.
About grooming side, okay? Romania legal age.
He's open with that. He's not like he's even like.
No, he's not. He's not. No, he's not.
He is open with that. He is.
Okay, wait. this is what he's saying in this video, but he's not. Okay, all the other allegations that have come forward, he's him taking passports away. I showed you that. So he's not going to tell you 100% truth. We are grateful to him that he's told us even that much of truth in one of his, in so many of his videos where he actually says that Andrew Tate and both the Tates are the same pieces of shit. When they say us that, oh, women are not allowed to go out, multiple women have come forward, and he has confessed himself to these other people that, oh, I take the passports away from them. I keep an armed guard over them. So he hasn't said the whole truth, but he's told enough truth to us that is incriminating him. So if you say that, oh, I'm 100% honest, hang on. But if you say that you're going to take his word on this particular point, that, hey, I go to a virgin girl who's 16 or 17, and I tell her that, hey, I've got 10 other girls lined up, so you know what? I want to take your virginity. No, he's actually telling you how to deceive them.
Okay, but that's how videos. But let's assume. Okay, so let's assume that
I'm taking his word for face value here. I don't know.
You can't take his word for face value.
There's no point in even watching the video.
Interesting. Now you can't take his word for face value. But you believe that he deflowers 2 to 3 virgins a year. You actually believe that? Because I don't fucking even believe that. I don't believe in 1 second that Tristan is deflowering 2 or 3 virgins a year. I think he's absolutely foolish. I call pure bullshit on that, unless I get some hard fucking evidence. So I don't actually even believe him deflowering the amount of women that he does. But does he try to make out that he is exclusive or her boyfriend? Well, a virgin is not gonna give it up unless she thinks she has some security. Because a woman's value is in her purity. That is one of her major values. Beauty, submissiveness, and purity. These are the things that men covet in women. And so, yes, there's a good chance if a girl is slightly savvy enough to know that, she has to somehow believe that she's getting exclusivity from Andrew. Unfortunately, look, it's a shit move. I'm not going to deny it. It's a bit of a dog. He's a dog. He's a hound. I mean, that's what we used to call back in the day. Pig, male chauvinistic pig, or whatever you want to label it. It's not a great thing. I'm not saying he's a moral standard. By far, he's not a moral standard that any young man should follow. But he is being honest that this is what I do when I want to take a virgin's virginity away. This is my tactics. And I think the blame still, the responsibility firmly sits on the shoulders of the parents of the girl. Number one, parents. What the fuck is your 16-year-old, 17-year-old daughter doing with a 30-odd-year-old man? I don't care if he has a limousine or a Bugatti or whatever the hell he has. If you let your daughter go with a 30-year-old man, what do you think he's going to do with your daughter? What do you think he's fucking going out with your daughter in the first place? So I'm sorry, but that entirely rests on the parents' shoulders. But for failing the parents' responsibilities, the girl, first of all, in these countries, she's of age of consent, what we call the age of consent. In Britain, it's 16. In other parts of the world can vary, but it appears, even where he lives in Romania, is also 16. It's actually 16 in Australia as well, which later on Harris goes to admit. So it is the legal age. I'm sorry, the legal age is kind of an arbitrary a line in the sand anyway in most places around the world. That's why it differs so much around the world. And if it's legal, it's legal. You can't start now tutting someone for simply going out with a woman of a legal age. But of course they will, because they hate this guy, and also they're jealous because they'll never get the caliber of women that Tristan and Andrew get.
Videos asking. So Harris, for the sake of you two arguing, continue. Okay. If we assume that this specific, like, let's say 16-year-old virgin, okay, he is just...
Again, I will reiterate, the man said 17. He didn't even say 16. He said 17. the minimum legal age is 16, but he actually said 17, which was above the minimum legal age anyway.
Working on her so that she feels like this is my boyfriend, so that he eventually takes her virginity away, and no passports are taken away or anything like that. And would you have a problem with that? I mean, I would, but I just wanted you guys. Let's say, for example, in this example that you just showed us, let's say that no passports were taken away. Okay,
right.
It's just a virgin, and he just wants to keep manipulating him. I mean, Vado has a problem with that because he's like, oh, this is a 16-year-old. It's not being manipulated. She's completely aware. Okay. But he wants to make her feel like we're boyfriend, girlfriend by just hanging out with her, right? A very long time. Okay. No passports are being taken away. Would you still have a problem with this?
Well, yeah, I'd have a problem with manipulation.
Okay, but Vado is...
Where's the manipulation? Just hanging out.
We're hanging out to what? To play chess? To play Ludo?
Yeah, he's saying that he hasn't had sex. So it takes like 2-3 months to have sex with this virgin, right?
Yeah, okay. He's saying make ground for it. He has an agenda, and he's saying, "I'll take him out. I'll send Ubers. I woo her. Let me give you another."
And she enjoys the attention, and she likes it, which a lot of girls do. That's not manipulation.
Look at this one. Let me.
So basically, what these guys are saying that whenever you take a girl out for dinner, you are simply manipulating a girl into having sex with you. So if you treat a girl nicely, you're basically, this is what I mean. There's a no-win situation. If you treat her badly, then he says, oh, look, he's literally forcing her to have sex. So it's quote-unquote rape. But if he takes her out and treats her nicely, oh, you're just manipulating her. What the fuck do you want a guy to do? How is a guy supposed to treat a woman in order for her to feel comfortable enough for him to have sex with her? What the hell are you supposed to... Look, there's been plenty of relationships that I've gone into where the intention for that relationship was for us to get married. That was literally at the beginning of the relationship that was discussed, that we will date for a while and then we would get married. Well, after a few months or even sometimes a year, we didn't get married. We broke up. Did I manipulate that woman by promising that I would marry her after a few months of dating? Was that now I'm a demon now because I said yes I would, even though I fully intended to go through with the marriage if the relationship was going to work out, if the relationship proved to be fruitful and a good relationship to get into a marriage with, I would have fully gone through with the marriage. But the whole thing fell apart, and we broke up. So was that manipulation? Or was that just simply a relationship not working out based on premises that you established at the beginning? In our case, a potential course towards marriage. So in that case, every man who breaks up with a woman ever she's never consented to that relationship. She was manipulated by him, by fancy dinners and dates and nights out and having him show her a good time. These despicable bastards to have the goal to show a woman a good time and hope that she would be willing to have sex with them at the end of it. That is literally every man ever. That is every man who's ever courted a woman ever has done that.
No, wait. Before you go to the next one, don't you want to?
No, it's the same one.
Resolve
it's the
this
same point.
One?
It's the same point. Again, when it comes to legality, I was only 16 years old.
Yeah, I don't know what the legal age for sex is in those countries.
Yeah, 16 in Romania.
Okay. So if a 16-year-old guy has sex with a 30-year-old woman, is that manipulation?
No, it's fine, but the intent matters.
Intent
matters. We do intent.
The intent, man, yeah, his intent is I would like to have sex with this person, so I will take them out and show them a good time and treat them nicely so that they will have sex with me. That's the intent, you cock-holding, blue-pilled, fucking progressive dipshits. You wokerati pricks. This is why, this is the problem with the atheists, leftists these days. The intent is to court a woman. That is the intent. That is what most men do. We court women, we take them out, we take them to restaurants, and we spend sometimes ungodly amounts of money to try to keep her fucking happy so that she gives us access to that tiny little vagina between her legs. That's literally what men have done for the dawn of time. Since men have fucking been walking the earth. Some of them have been a bit aggressive, but most of us have those intentions. Yes, come with me, you will have a good time with me, and hopefully you'll like me enough to allow me to have some vagina. That is literally what all men do every time they take a woman out for a date. Not all, 99% of men don't necessarily want to marry that girl. Don't necessarily want to get into a relationship. 80%, 50%. But I'll tell you that, on Tinder, 99% of them just want to get a booty call. If women would just sleep with them without having to take them to a restaurant, believe me, we'd fucking do that every day. But unfortunately, they don't. So we have to court them, and we have to listen to their fucking boring stories about some bollocks that we don't give a shit about. But we have to pretend that we're good fucking active listeners, and try to basically get this person to like us enough to sleep with us. That's what we do. That is literally the reality of fucking male-female relationships.
Intent matters.
Oh my god. Where is the law broken? Where is the law broken? Where is the law broken?
So it doesn't have to be 100%.
Either we have a law that's saying 16 or we don't. Simple as that.
So
Vidu,
so can I?
No, I want to finish this point. Hang on, Armin.
Okay.
So if you have large audience and people are worshipping you, and like, for example, when people make excuses for someone, at least we can pick people who are not boasting about lying and manipulating women themselves by their own admission that this is how you...
Okay. Let me answer this. Victoria says, if you had a young, someone actually put that literally in the text which I was debating on this same video. If you had a younger sister, would you be okay with one of the Tate brothers deflowering her and dumping her, as majority of men at some point want relationships? If I had a younger sister, she would not be allowed to date a Tate brother. That's my take on it. I'm not even joking. If I had a young 16-year-old sister and she was going out, she just says, "All right, guys, I'm off." I'm like, who the fuck are you going out with? And she points to some 30-something-year-old man. I don't give a fuck if the guy arrives in a helicopter or in a Lamborghini or in a limousine. My 16-year-old fucking sister is not going out with a 30-odd-year-old man, because I know exactly what that 30-odd-year-old man wants. But the responsibility isn't on that 30-year-old man not to try to have sex with my younger sister. The responsibility is on me as her older brother and my parents to stop her from going out with that 30-year-old man, because we know exactly what the fuck he wants. As a man, I 100% know what he wants. So it isn't on Tristan or Andrew's shoulders to not want to fuck my 16-year-old sister. It is on me and my parents to not allow such a man to try to get the opportunity to fuck my little sister. So again, the responsibilities lie with the parents and with the person, not with the man who is simply doing what men do. We all want sex. That is the nature of our existence. Because reproduction, survival and reproduction are the basic core instincts in every one of us. And we want to have sex with the most beautiful and the most pure women so that we can assure paternity. This is hardwired in us. Now, you can go ahead and ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And this is what these idiots want to do in this show. Armin and Harris want to ignore the real fact that men like having sex with pure virgin women. So how do you know when the right man comes along, especially if they're playing the three myth game? Especially if they're playing the 3 myth game. I'm sorry, I don't know the 3 myth game, but the fact is you vet them. You vet them and you sit down and you have a conversation with them. And I certainly wouldn't sit, and I would 100% tell my younger sister that if you're dating a 30-year-old man, you know he just wants sex from you. You do not consent to anything like that, and you don't let him manipulate you. And as I said, I wouldn't allow him in the first place, but if I have to even bite the bullet and allow her to go out, 3-month game, yeah, whatever, the 3-month game. The fact is, I wouldn't, first of all, allow her in the first place. Second of all, if I have to bite that bullet and allow her to go because she won't listen to reason, I will 100% let her know that this is what this man wants. He's not dating you because you're just so interesting at 16, because of your witty conversations and your witty banter. He wants to have sex with you, and you do not give up sex until he puts a ring on that finger. On the day she gives up the sex, the virginity is the day after, or the night after they've been to the altar and someone put a ring on her finger and a priest or a mullah has said some fucking words, or I don't know, whatever ceremony that you wish to take. That's the way that's what you would tell them. Not all the players are like the Tate brothers. Some simply some play the whole family. Well, maybe if they manipulate us, then we get fucking manipulated. Then fine, we get manipulated, and they say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. No, sorry, I take it back. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's how it's supposed to be. So yes, anyone can get fooled, but at the end of the day, we all know what men want. We're all grown adults. And so, again, I'm not going to put this blame on Tristan and this. I think you're blaming the wrong people. I'm not saying the actions are right. I'm saying what Tristan does to try to manipulate a 16, 17-year-old teenager to have sex with him is morally and ethically wrong. That is I've been trying to say this from the first go. It is ethically and morally wrong to try to have sex with a 17-year-old teenager if you're a 30-odd-year-old man. I think it's creepy, and I think you're clearly not a good person. If you don't intend to marry them, and you just want to have sex with them and take their virginity, then you're ethically and morally a wrong individual. But the blame for him trying isn't on the person. He is going to do, if he's want to be a wrong'un, he's going to be a wrong'un. But the actual blame, the real blame, falls on the shoulders of the parents of that individual or the individual themselves. Again, these guys are trying to paint out that these people are Tristan and Andrew are some friggin' monstrous predators. They are no more of a predator than any man, and including these two, if they had the opportunity to do it. This is the difference between someone like Harris and Armin and Andrew and Tristan, is that Andrew and Tristan have the opportunity, and that is where their will is tested. And I'll be honest, they've I would say, if they've had the opportunity to have young girls and they took it, their moral character came up wanting. Whilst the difference between Harris and Armin is that they don't even get that fucking chance. They don't even have that opportunity. So how can they moralize against someone from a position where they don't even know what it's like to be tempted at that level? They have no fucking clue what it is to have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old virgin throw her knickers at you. So how would they even fucking begin to know what their moral and ethic standards are when they've never had to be tested on that level? They've never been tested. You think virgins are throwing their panties at Armin? I'll be honest, I'm actually not entirely sure if Armin would even take them. I suspect he may like the LGBTs a little bit more. I've got question marks on Armin, but I'd say Harris comes across a bit more heterosexual. Either way, none of them have been tested. I guarantee you they've never had gorgeous Instagram virgins beg them for sex. And if they did, then if they go, no, I will not, because I am of such moral standards. I sit on an ivory tower so high that your nose would bleed. That is why I would never have sex with a young, beautiful virgin such as you, my dear. My dear, let me put my coat on the floor so you may not step into the puddle. What a crock of shit. What a crock of shit. If these two men had a beautiful, gorgeous woman throw themselves at them, they would take it in a heartbeat. I will promise you. Their morals and ethics are no more lofty than Andrew and Tristan. It's just that they never have the fucking opportunity. They never have to worry about having to cross such moral, contemplate such moral quandaries, because they never have to be in that position. They'd be lucky if they get 30-year-old slappers chucking their panties at them. So they don't have to worry about it.
Do it. This is how I do it. So you should do it like that too. Yes, okay. A 30-year-old guy, if it's legal for age of consent is 16, fine. Okay, that's the law. I reckon it should be 18, but fine. Sure, in Australia, 16 as well. Sure. But if I know damn well that this is how I'm going to lure her, I've got no interest in anything else but taking her virginity. This is very shallow. This Romanian chick, this Romanian girl, Daria, she's...
Okay. By the way, none of them mentioned the parents' role in this. Listen, I'm going to try and let this play out now. Listen to when they actually blame the parents on any level, or even mention, where the fuck are the parents of this woman at? Where are the parents of this girl at? Never comes up.
She's a daughter of this Romanian politician. And she said, I didn't answer the message, but one of my friends who was 15 years old at the time and was a student, so not 100%, everything is 100% with these guys, yeah? She's saying her friend, she was 16, but her friend was 15. Right. 15 years old at the time and was a student, answered, and so the conversation continued for a while with brother Tate, i.e. Tristan Tate. That dickhead has a thing for really young girls. I hope it. Yeah. All right. Daria said that. Okay, hang on, let me finish. Daria said that her friend kept up the conversation with Tate for some time, during which period he bragged to her about his expensive cars and luxury lifestyle to try and persuade her into going on a date with him. Is it fine? Okay, you could say that fine. He's got money. He can brag about it. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But I reckon I always say this: intent matters. When you go into a relationship, when you actually lead a girl into thinking that, hey, I really like you. I really see a future together. Whatever. You know this when you lie to a girl or not, when you lie to someone or not. You know this. We don't accept.
Oh, yeah. Because Harris, being of such lofty moral standards, has never lied to just get sex from women. He has always been 100% honest. When he goes into a relationship, when he meets that hot woman at the bar and says, yeah, I just want to hit and quit this. I'm sorry, you come across as just a pump and dump to me. So can we just do that? Because I am just such a morally upstanding individual that I don't want to give you a false sense of that I could, this could potentially be a long-term relationship. You just look like a slapper. You are basically a masturbatory device for me. So could we just go back to my place? I pump my seed into you, and then I'll call you an Uber. Because that's I'm sure Harris has never lied to get ass.
Accept these kind of lies when I go into a business arrangement with you, Vidu. If I fooled you, if I lied to you, if I
look at this bullshit straw man. Complete bullshit straw man. He goes, if I go into a business arrangement with you, actually people get conned in business arrangements all the time, by the way. There's literally a crypto scam that Logan Paul ran, some sort of crypto zoo shit, which was a complete scam. People get scammed all the time. Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes. There are tons of business scams that are out there.
Lead you and I scam $100,000 out of you, would you say, well, who told you to give $100,000 to Harrison?
There's millions of people who lose their fucking shirt in all sorts of crypto and stock bullshit and Ponzi schemes, and no one gets arrested because it was all legal. It was all legal. It wasn't ethical, but it was legal.
Sultan, you would go running to court. You would say, hey, I was misled, I was lied to, and this is why, like Harris scammed $100,000 out of me.
So, go on.
Okay. So I don't think, Harris, you're addressing what Vidu is asking here. Okay. So we are assuming, for the sake of argument, okay, that none of those things are happening here. And we're going to address whether it's still a problem or not. Okay. Because we don't know. Okay. And I still have a problem with it. So I will try to tell you from my perspective why this is a problem. Okay. So even, let's say, for example, the guy is completely honest with the girl, right? He's just like trying to show her a good time, or trying to spend as much time with her so that she likes her, so they feel like they has a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, right? And she completely is aware of this guy's lifestyle, so she's not being misled. Her passport is not being taken away, and she's choosing everything, okay? And I still have a problem with this. And you're like, why should... I'm like, well, she's 16, and he's a lot older. And you're like, you might respond and say, well, that's legal there, right? But I think we're confusing legality and morality here, right? Because where it's allowed to have sex and have a relationship with a 16-year-old, in countries that get this right, they also take the age difference into account, right? So
some do, not in this case. In this case, they don't care about the age gap. If in Britain they don't have an age, the difference in age, they don't care about difference. If the girl is legal to consent to sex, then it doesn't matter if the guy's 50 or 15, or 16 or 17, 18 or 42. It doesn't matter. In this country, it doesn't matter. In Romania, apparently, it doesn't matter. It's some countries they do. I think France has like an age of 13 or 14, but the guy has to, or the older person has to be within 2 or 3 years. It can't be, I think, over 18 or something. I forgot. But that's again to avoid putting teenagers in prison because they have sex. This is just to stop teenagers, because teenagers are horny devils, and they're going to end up putting a whole bunch of teenagers in prisons because they're having sex with each other. But this is not the case. So you're making another false equivocation, or another straw man. It's another straw man. There's nothing. It's not relevant.
Countries where sex with 16-year-olds are allowed, and countries that we approve of allowing sex with 16-year-old, it's only allowed if you are like 18 or 17, right? Like, it's not allowed if the age gap is very wide, because there's a lot of room for manipulation here and taking advantage of, because a 16-year-old with less life experiences.
Yes, we agree, but that is not the case here. So what you are explaining an irrelevant point to the case at hand. Has nothing to do with what is in front of us right now, because Romania doesn't have any of those fucking laws. So it's irrelevant. You're just talking now. You're just flapping your lips.
It's a lot easier to manipulate than, I don't know, a 20-year-old or 24-year-old. Okay. So it's not about them being a woman. It's about being 16. That's what we have an issue.
So is it against the law for a 16-year-old to have a relationship with a 30-year-old in that country?
Just no, but it should.
Yeah. So everything you said is fucking irrelevant. Everything you said is irrelevant. He goes, no, but it should be. You don't make the fucking laws in Romania, so it's irrelevant. Look at this bullshit. I swear, Vidu was so fucking on the money. His instincts were absolutely right. You have nothing to change your mind on, Vidu. You have nothing to regret. There was a stellar performance, mate.
Relationship with a 30-year-old in that country.
No, but it should be. But I'm saying,
should be is a different question altogether.
Yeah, right? Maybe it's legal. But we're saying maybe it's legal, but we're not judging the legality.
So Tristan did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong in the eyes of the law. You guys just want to hate on him because you're fucking haters. That's all.
We're judging the morality of it.
I'm going. Okay, no, you're okay. Fair enough. But I'm still going with my ethics. That how many lies would he have told her, knowing damn well he's not going to carry out?
Like every man on the planet Earth ever who said some kind of fucking lie, who said their dick was 8 inches when it was 4 inches to get a woman in bed. Literally billions of men throughout history who have lied to get a woman in the sack. It happens all the time. Maybe Harris, you're the purest of us all. Maybe you're fucking floating 10 inches above the rest of us because you're so fucking morally righteous. But the rest of us, I'm sorry, yeah, we've said some bullshit to try to get our dicks wet. It's a reality. It's a thing. It happens. If a woman doesn't know that a man will lie to get sex out of them, then I'm sorry. You are a fucking naive as fuck.
I'm not gonna condone lies in any circumstance.
But that's what you're doing when you say, "Well, when you shrug off your shoulders, you're taking it off very lightly. You're letting it off the hook."
That's misunderstood my point. I'm not saying so even outside of a relationship, like for example, you said about the business deal. If we get into a business together and you lied to me, and then that's not. If I have proof that you lied to me, then I can take you to court. If proof you lied to me, you said you're going to do this with money, you spend it somewhere else. Fine. What I'm saying is, if there is no passport taken, if there's none of that coercion, and the Tates, and I've seen them for like 2 years now, even before they were super famous on YouTube, they are very open about what they do with women, as in they are open, they have multiple partners at one point. If this girl is being driven Uber this, Uber that, parties this, parties that, how on earth can you not tell me that you can't put 2 and 2 together? This guy is not going to marry you. He's playing with you, right? This guy is banging other chicks. He's making out. He's got champagne.
That's lying. So that's lying.
He's not lying. He's showing you. He's showing you that lifestyle.
Yeah, but he's lying.
He's
yeah.
Not you know what?
But you're right. But hang on a second. You're going over it, Vidu.
If this guy pretended to be like a monogamous type,
you're glossing over it. You're glossing over the fact.
If he's showing it to you, then where's the lie?
No. He's not taking multiple girls on a single date.
He is.
No, he's not. Like this is what he's saying. Like he's gonna take her. He's gonna send an Uber. Hang on, I'm talking about one particular girl. I'm talking about like in this particular case. Okay, yeah, These guys are lying bastards. Yeah, we can agree with that.
But they're not lying.
Now hang on a second. No,
advertising it to everyone.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question.
So this is it. This is what I mean. This is, again, it comes down to it. If a man tells any kind of lie or any kind of untruth to try to get a woman to have sex with them, that is it. That you're fucking condemned. You're a monster. Like women don't fucking lie about their looks and their aesthetics in order to be more pleasing to men. Women literally are walking lies themselves. They have false makeup, they have foundation, eyeliner, false lashes, false hair, false high heels, false fucking push-up bras. There's like a woman is a walking fucking lie. She's a standing lie right in front of you. But men, we have to be fucking pure. We have to be as pure as a driven snow. We can't possibly exaggerate about anything, even though someone like Tristan and Andrew don't even need to fucking lie. They just have to show their lifestyle, and women literally throw their underwear at them. Lauren Southern fucked the living shit out of Andrew, and she rejected Paul Joseph Watson. There's a reason for that.
Okay. Do you think these guys are not liars? These are truthful, 100% honest people?
I don't think so. But then I'm going with this scenario.
Yes, but we have to look at it holistically. We have to look at it. Okay, so they brag about the cars, they brag about the women, all of that. Yeah,
where's the lie in that? Where's the lie?
No.
Because they're bragging about it. It's opposite.
So he does that, yeah. But then on the other hand, in this video, and then in this video, there's so many playboys who go to a girl and they say, you know what, you're the one. I am, and this is the same playbook.
Yeah, you're the one from the many. You're right. You're the one.
Yeah. No, you're the only one.
You're the one.
You don't get it. You're not getting it. No, you're not.
No, Harris, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're so entrenched in your fucking position that these are evil monsters that I have to take down that you don't even fucking want to acknowledge that this is what men have done since the dawn of man. You probably wouldn't have been even born if your father or your grandfather didn't lie to your fucking grandmother and mother to get her in the sack. I'm sure your dad was as honest, right? There's a driven snow. He never told a single lie to your mom before he fucking bagged her. Or your grandparents. Or your great-grandparents. Everybody fucking lies. Men lie to get women into bed. Women lie by the mere presentation that they put on, by the lipstick that they wear, because their lips aren't that fucking red. The rouge they put on their cheeks, because their cheeks are not that fucking red. The foundation that they put on to cover all the fucking pots and spots on their fucking faces. The false eyelashes, the fucking hair extensions and wigs, the false tits, the push-up bras, the high heels. They're a walking lie. Women are walking lies 24/7. You want me to show you some of those videos of how women transform themselves from monstrous ogres to fucking beauty queens with makeup? There's like plastered all over fucking TikTok. So if a woman wears, if Andrew Tate is a demon liar for trying to boast and try to get a woman in bed, well, if a woman wears even a lipstick, fucking lip gloss, nail polish, then she can't present herself. She can't go out the front door. She's a fucking lying whore. Fucking hell.
I'm not getting it. You're just jumping the gun here.
I'm going to go with your. I'm going to go with your argument. If you're saying that this man Tristan, only gave no impression that he had multiple girlfriends, didn't show any of these girls to this girl, then lying.
You know what every player says? You know what every player says to a girl? You're the one. I've given up my old lifestyle. You know, you've turned me around, baby.
Would never
you've
say
me off the floor.
He said,
"Well, how do you? No, he's not. He's
okay,
asking
we're dealing in
one girl
because I don't know when he lied or when he
But
didn't.
this is how it works.
You're just making assumptions. But even if he did, still millions of men do all day, every day. And I guarantee you that these two moral, righteous people, supposedly Armin and Harris, have also lied about some things in order to get women in bed.
You don't know the game. Then this is how it works.
Well, if you know how it works, then you've obviously done it. You've done it, or you've studied it to know that how it works, Harris. So you yourself are probably guilty of the same thing you are tut-tutting and poo-pooing fucking Andrew for.
Find this guy is when men is attracted to other women. No one wants to be with a bum. If I'm unable to attract any woman, why would a girl want me? Because she's like, he's not capable of attracting anyone, and I'm going to be the chick that gets with him.
Literally, women will not even go with a man that is not attractive to other women. If a woman doesn't think that no other woman wants you, she will not be with you. Even this fucking ogre right here, sitting here, I can 100% tell you that every time I've been with a woman, she's thought that I can get other women, or I've had other women around me. I've always got female friends or you know, mostly friends that are in my sort of peripherals that I'm either, you know, hanging out with, talking to, whatever. And any woman who comes and gets involved in my life knows that I have female friends, because in the back of their heads, they don't want a man who's not attractive to other women. In fact, some of the best wingmen I've ever had going out was other girls from work or other places where they've literally approach girls for me and tell them, come to our table or come and talk to him. He's a great guy. Banksy is just awesome. The greatest wingman you can possibly have is another woman. If they're really, because the problem is a lot of women, they kind of, you know, not always want to be your wingman because they don't truly are your friends. They're kind of like a woman. They're a girl that you try to bang, but then she puts you in a friend zone. But she kind of wants you in the background in case whatever Chad she's fucking, she doesn't get on with, and you can be her fucking, what do you call it, exit strategy or backup plan or whatever. So there's a lot of women that put you in those sort of categories in life. But if you actually have women who truly see you as just a friend and you all accept that situation, nobody's trying to fuck anyone, they will pick women up for you. They will literally approach women for you. It is great to have real, true female friends that you don't want to... I mean, let's be honest. No man wouldn't fuck any woman. I mean, I would sleep with every woman that I think that I'm friends with. But I would rather for them to be my friend than to actually be a sexual partner, because they are more useful to me as a female friend than they are as someone who I just pump and dump. Because I don't want to lose their friendship. I don't want to lose their relationship with them. and I know if I have sex with them, that'll ruin the relationship. So it's actually better. Sometimes, I mean, this is the difference between being friend zoned and putting a woman in your friend zone. If you as a man make a woman your friend, is very different to you wanting to sleep with a woman who then puts you in the friend zone. Don't be a simp and be put into the friend zone. But if you have women that you choose to forgo the sexual encounter with them instead of as in you'd rather not have sex with them, but because they're more useful to you as a friend than they are as a sexual partner, then if you put a woman in a friend zone, it is very beneficial and it is perfectly fine, because women can bring more women. Why would I sacrifice losing this great wing person who would actually attract more women towards me than just by having sex with her? It would be stupid. It's like killing a perfectly good asset for no reason at all. You're just cutting off your own nose to spite your own face. Why would you do that? It is sometimes far better. I would have more sex with women by keeping this one as a friend than to have sex with this one and lose all the other women that she could potentially bring into my life. So these are the sort of things that you have to gauge occasionally. What would be more beneficial? A friendship with this woman or an actual, because there are other, as I said, if you become get put into friend zone, and believe me, I've been friend zoned millions of times in my younger youth when I didn't have game, and it's fucking horrible. It's the most simping, ridiculously disgraceful position to be in as a man. Never be friend zoned, and if you think this woman is not interested in you sexually, either cut it off or re-evaluate your relationship. But the problem is the women who know, by the way, women know that they friend zoned you and they know that you want to fuck them, because they will then use your attraction to them to get shit from you. They'll get things that they use you for. You become the fucking shoulder to cry, and you become the free therapist. You become the guy who they call at 3 a.m. to go and change their fucking tire for them. Bullshit like that. There's all sorts of shenanigans that women have pulled over the years, and I've done ridiculously stupid things for women where I was like, after a while, I was like, I don't even want to fuck her anymore. I just don't want to have anything to do with this woman. She's a detriment to my fucking life. So eventually you just have to it's better to just cut those women out. I'll 100% tell you. If a woman is friend zoned you and she's still using you for all sorts of fucking benefits to her life, but will never become your woman and will never give up the sex, then fucking cut it out. She's just a leech on your fucking life. And women do this a lot. I've seen it a lot. And they'll just go, oh, but I thought you were my friend. I thought you cared about me. Bitch, I just wanted pussy. You know that I just wanted pussy. You knew it. I knew it. You didn't give it up, but you put me in the fucking back burners and you fucking used me for all sorts of other bullshit, and I became your fucking free therapists. And I was stupid enough to go along with it. And again, do not blame the woman. This is on your shoulders. If you've been friend-zoned by some woman and you're still going along with it and you haven't fucking broken up that relationship and just walked the fuck away, it's on you as a man to wise the fuck up and walk away. Walk the fuck away, because she's just using you for your potential benefits, but will never give up anything. She will never give anything of herself to you, but she will constantly demand things from you because she knows she's got you by the fucking short and curlies because you're still simping after her. This is a major element of simping, which is disgraceful. You should be ashamed. I'm ashamed of the days I simped and was friend zoned by women. It is a horrific fucking thing, but it was a great learning curve, and it was something that I probably needed in order to move on and actually improve. So I take it as a learning lesson. But anyway, either way, we're digressing. I'm moving on. These guys. Okay, I forgot what the point about these guys was. Let's play the video a bit more.
No. That's where the manipulation part comes in, because when you say
that's not manipulation.
I'll tell you where manipulation is.
Armin, say something.
Dude. Here's a cool dude. Got all the money, got all the car.
I would agree with Vidu if this girl was 24, 25.
Oh, yeah. You see, this is the thing. They're like, oh, well, when she's older, it would be fine. No, when Andrew Tate clearly said a 25-year-old woman has been ran through by half the fucking city in her town, or half the fucking football team, whatever. She's been fucking ran through. She's got a ton of trauma. She's got all sorts of fucking fucked up psychological issues that now she has to deal, and she's gonna dump on him. That's why they don't deal with 25 fucking year olds, because a 25-year-old woman is a fucking nightmare to deal with compared to a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old who hasn't had all the dicks that you know that God sends. She hasn't rode the cock carousel for the last 10 years. That's the difference. A 25-year-old is a nightmare to deal with. So no, he doesn't go with 25-year-olds because they have a ton of fucking shit to deal with.
I would have no issue with this method
if
they're not lying. Yes, the only issue is that these people are older and they're dealing with women who don't have enough experience.
That's a fair point. I agree with that.
It's very clear. It's clear that he's grooming them. He has only one intent. He would have told 100 lies in there. And look, all these lies are coming out. We're finding out all these things. So they're not 100% honest. If they say something, no, that's not what I meant. Anyway, you'll find out. You'll find out these guys are scum.
I think. Okay, now that I've calmed down. If you're right, if she was 18 or like 20, even 18, to be fair, if she was 18, then I think you have no excuse. If there's no coercion, if there's literally you're being driven.
But the problem is, you know what the problem?
Why do you think he's driving you? Because he wants to play chess.
You know what's the big difference between 16 to 18? Vidu, you know what's the big difference between 16 to 18? And I think, that law is very good. That, you know, like if you're going to have sex with someone who's 16, age of consent is 16, but only up to 18, not 20. You know what the big reason is? Because a lot of men are actually obsessed with virginity. For example, this guy, he's not going to go to an 18-year-old girl because she's most likely she might have lost her virginity. So he's going to like, oh, you're too old. I've seen people trolling. Tate is trolling women who are like 20, 21 and like, oh, you've gone way past your prime and something. These guys are toxic pieces of shit. I'm sorry.
So there you go. He just fucking gave his hand away. He just thinks that they're just toxic pieces of shit. And I think there's a tremendous amount of envy and jealousy that's coming out of that statement as well. And that's it. That's why you will never see anything they do to be in any value. That's why, because you've already entrenched in your position. You decided they're toxic pieces of shit, and so all you're looking for now is just confirmation of that. You've got confirmation bias. You're just looking for things to confirm your originally decided conclusions. You're not looking at a fair. You're not looking to give them a fair fucking hearing, a fair shake. Whilst Video was actually trying to give them a fair shake. But Harris is already entrenched. But I think because Harris will never fucking have the caliber of women that these men can attract. And he knows it. He knows if he lived 1,000 years, he would never have the caliber of women that Andrew and Tristan have had and will have in the future. Because you're never going to be those guys. You're never going to be in that position. So, you go ahead and you fucking pour out your fucking... This is just a giant cope for Harris. This is just a giant cope so that he knows that he can go to bed at night going, I'm a good person. I tell women the truth when I fucking take them to bed, unlike those pieces of shit who lie to them with their Bugattis and their Lamborghinis and their limousines and their private jets. They coerce and lie women into bed, whilst I tell that fat, ogreish 28-year-old that has been fucked by everyone in town the truth when I take Milady into my boudoir and I will lay with her. And I will do it missionary, and I will make sure she has 12 orgasms before she falls asleep.
Well, see, the legality of it usually comes up with the hard line, like 18, 16, or whatever, right? But when it comes to morality, men who are not trying to be jerks, they can tell, like, it's based on intention. If somebody who's going after somebody who's 16 or 17 with the intention to manipulate them because they are more impressionable and they're easier to convince, right? These are not people who are interested in making this relationship a good experience. Like, they're in it for themselves. Like, they're like, take, not like, oh, let's make this a meaningful relationship for the both of us, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Haven't you ever just wanted to get a fucking piece of ass for the night? See, this is the problem. Armin, I'll be honest with you. You should try Grindr. You'll probably find a lot of success in Grindr. But as far as heterosexual communications and sex is concerned, you guys are just full of shit. Where you, like, every relationship, every woman you've ever talked to and you wanted to have sex with them was because you just wanted to marry them, because you wanted to take this relationship all the way, and it just maybe didn't work out, but your intentions were good. You had good intentions, my boy. You didn't just want to pump and dump. Your intentions were not just to get on that fucking booty and ride that bitch. No, there was none of that. None of that. You wanted to. You're honorable men. Honorable men. I only court women that I wish to marry and to be the mother of my children. Oh, come on. You're full of shit. You're full of shit, or you don't get pussy. That's what it is. This is a language of men who don't get pussy, who don't have access to pussy. That's what this is. To me, this is a language of a man who cannot get women. And so he goes down this simping fucking road of, oh, milady, I shall court thee for not anything less than half a year before I will try to have coital knowledge of thee. Oh, fuck off. Kiss my ass, you no pussy getting fucking. You think young men should come to you for fucking advice on how to pick up women? Is that what you think? With your litany of 12 women in your lifetime, huh? Is this what you want? You want young men to come to you? It's like going to a fucking plumber to teach you how to fix a car engine. Well, they both use wrenches. They both have tools. I'm sure a plumber will be able to teach me how to fucking put a V8 engine together. I mean, for fuck's sake, you guys don't fucking know. You have no fucking clue the world in which those guys live in. I don't have the fucking clue. I can only imagine and guess the level of pussy that they're drowning in. I can only imagine that. I don't even have first-hand experience, but my imagination is enough to fucking know that you are no fucking experts when it comes to pickup and dating. So you would literally be the last in a list of 1,000 men that I would approach to learn about how to court women, how to get with women, how to date women, because I can guarantee you don't have a fucking clue what it's like.
So, for a person that does something like that, even if the girl was 18 or 20, I would think like they would try also to do more manipulation rather than like it's more based on we can't tell what's happening anymore, right? But it comes back to the individual. Is this an individual who is trying to manipulate or not manipulate? We know that based on these people's record, it's more likely that they're doing manipulation, but we cannot, you can even do manipulation with somebody that is 25 or 26 or even 30, right?
Right.
But
so
then at that point, you can't tell. But I'm just saying when it's with 16 or 17.
So let's say this girl was 20 and exactly the same thing happened. Is it manipulation? Is it immoral?
Then at that point, I cannot judge. I don't know what's happening here, right?
If you lie,
maybe not, maybe yes.
If you lie,
maybe yes, maybe not.
If you lie, if you lie, you straight away you're like it's not ethical.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off with that shit, Harris, because I know you're full of shit. I know you've lied to women. I know that women have lied to you about shit. And I know you've pretended certain things in order to get them in bed. You promised shit that you weren't going to deliver on in order to get them in bed. I know you've fucking done it because you're a man who is a dick. That's all the evidence I fucking ever need. And women, as I explained, lie constantly. They wake up and they go to that makeup table and they adorn themselves with a fucking mask of lies in order to walk out the front door. Women live lies 24/7. So women have lied to you from the day you fucking knew women existed. let alone you lying to women. You fucking lied. You're lying right now, saying that it is not right to fucking lie to get a woman in bed, because you've done it yourself. Either you're a massive hypocrite if you still think that is morally incorrect. Oh, my heart bleeds. I wish I could be as morally sit on such a moral high ground as you, Harris. I wish that I could find a fucking pedestal so high to put myself on, because you're the moral arbiter of the fucking world. You're fucking Jesus reborn, right? Never fucking lied. Never fucking said an untruth to get a fucking woman to like you a little bit more. What a crock of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen
hard to advertise their lifestyle.
I know, but
they have made a point of it. Yeah, but except there's one girl who's they managed to hide everything from this one girl.
One girl. People always claim that.
I don't know. Have you seen how gaslighting is done in a relationship? Even if it's completely in the open.
We know gaslighting. We know that people, but everybody fucking lies to some level. It's fucking unbelievable that you guys are making these straw man fucking arguments. This is just another fucking straw man. There's no indicator that there's gaslighting, by the way, by Tristan or any of that. There's nothing that they've said indicates any of these things. You guys are just fucking pulling these straw mans out of your asses. And I'm glad that they constantly point out to other people's straw mans, but they don't fucking want to have their own straw mans called out. I mean, I'm sorry, Victoria. I just, if you want a real relationship, don't fuck up and lie. Trust this is like, I'll be honest, Victoria, I'm sorry. This is delusional. I know men who've had decades of marriage, and I know for a fact that there's a plethora of lies in their marriage. Both the woman and the man have hidden things from each other, and they've been together for 20, 30 years, some of them. Marriage has more lies in it than fucking relation. I've been more honest with women who I pumped and dumped than some married people have. This is the uncomfortable truth that most of you don't fucking want to admit. Victoria, if you're married, your husband has lied to you in that marriage. He's holding on to a fucking closet full of fucking skeletons. He has a plethora of fucking cemetery fucking headstones in his closet somewhere, and I'm sure you have too. You're telling me you're just fucking pure and honest with your husband or your boyfriend or whoever you're in a relationship with, right? You're the one. You're the one that is just pure honest. You're down the road. You tell him everything, right? Oh, come on.
Like, have you seen gaslighting methodology?
I don't think he understands it.
Okay,
maybe maybe I'm happy to
again.
This is where they pull a fucking straw man, and then they go ahead and try to prove the straw man, and then turn Vidu around, because Vidu, his instincts were right. He was right at the beginning. He had nothing to fucking apologize for or make a U-turn on. But now they're gonna try to fucking. In fact, they are gaslighting him into agreeing with them and try to end this fucking conversation on a win for them, because again, these people always see like winners and losers. There is no nuance. There is no in between. It's just winners and losers.
But I'm saying with a 20-year-old, it could be legit, not manipulation. But even in that situation, it could still be manipulation or not. Okay, but I'm saying over there we don't know. Over here, it's like you shouldn't even
likely because of the young
most
age.
Likely because you shouldn't even consider a relationship.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I've walked back from my position.
No, you shouldn't, Vidu. You were right, and they fucking pulled the straw man and tried to bullshit you into it. The fact is, and again, throughout this entire conversation, not one word was said about the parents of that girl involved in this situation. Not a fucking word was said. Anyway, MC, I'm sorry, you jumped on the panel, but I couldn't take it because I was still ranting. But yeah, I'm going to open the panel up. So jump on if you want to jump on, and we'll get into this BS. Anyone else who wants to jump on, feel free. I know most of you guys are like just ninjas in the shadows watching. None of you fuckers want to actually talk. Sepid, Jump on if you want to jump on. Guys, I just want to make a quick announcement. I don't know if you guys know about Speakers Corner Online. It is no longer Speakers Corner Online. It is now labeled Pixotrix. So if you guys want to go, the app isn't available in the App Store yet, but you will have to download the new app from the App Store. If you use the old Speakers Corner Online, it won't work. But the website is available. You can actually use it on your mobile. You can do a web app if you want. So yeah, go to the Pixotrix site and just carry on using it. Your username, if you already have an account, it will just work exactly the same as it has done before. Big up MC, ex blue pill romantic retard.
I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth.
I know, man. I know. Fuck it. I mean, I lived most of my youth fucking blue pill, dude. I went through most of my youth totally fucking blue pilled. My 20s, I was fucking friend zoned. I was cuckolded. Oh god, the amount of bullshit that I put up with when I was young, and I think back to that crap, and I'm like, fucking hell. I look at it with shame. I swear, I'm fucking cringe when I think back to some of the cuckoldry that I fucking participated in. The kind of simping that I fucking did was just disgraceful. Disgraceful.
You don't have to be ashamed. We all were cheated. We all were lied to as men about reality. Nobody's telling us the truth. We have to figure it out on our own.
The fucked up thing is, you've got people like Armin and Harris here who are still the fucking blue pill cuckolds that I was 20 odd years ago with the modern internet and all the information and all the red pill and manosphere stuff that's available to you. So for them to be this fucking blue pilled, I think is disgraceful. It's shameful because they are willfully ignorant now. Now the information is available and they still refuse to look at it, and that is even more disgraceful. At least I knew I was a fool, and I elevated myself. I rose above it and I learned better. But these fools are still fools.
Because there is one difference between us and them. We prefer reality, no matter how it's going to hurt, how brutal it's going to be. We know that sooner or later it will seed, it will put its roots into our brains, and it will stop hurting. It will just become a part of our lives, of our identities, and of our mindsets. They don't. They are afraid of that change. They are like, they're just afraid to, leave their delusions. So what if they are atheists? They just dropped the faith in the invisible man, but they didn't drop another faith in the goddess.
Yeah. They're still hooked in, to the Matrix. They're still hooked in to and they still believe the fucking bullshit. That's the problem. These guys, I mean, and the thing is, they set themselves off as somehow the arbiter of that. They're the truth tellers, that they know better, that they should be the influence among. If these people if they have any influence over young men, I am fucking scared for the next generation even more. And unfortunately, they do have influence over young men, because the majority of the world is still this woke bullshit. They're still pushing this woke bullshit. The Western world, should I say, not the East, not the Middle East. Fucking certainly there is no wokeness in fucking Afghanistan right now. I tell you that. You're not gonna find any. You may find fucking a horrific fucking dystopian life, but you won't find wokeness there. I tell you, the Taliban don't fucking put up with that shit. But the Western world is absolutely drowning in wokeness. Everywhere you look, every politician, every establishment, every law that's being passed, it's all about fucking wokeness. And so these individuals are actually the dominant voices in society. This is why men. Did you see that report about incels who are now transitioning to be women because they can at least get laid? You muted. Sorry, I think MC had to go do something quickly.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Did you see the report about incels transitioning to be women in order to get laid?
Okay, this is really going to be worse and worse, and this is some epic desperation, to be honest.
I know, it's insane. But I saw a report with by Lauren Chen. I don't know if you follow Lauren Chen. Her name used to be Roaming Millennial.
Yes, Roaming Millennial. I do sometimes watch her videos.
Yeah, she did it. She covered it recently about incels becoming transitioning.
Well, I just don't understand one thing about those people. Why they don't leave Canada anymore? Because Canada is scaring me now.
There you go. Why are incels turning themselves into girls? I'm gonna put this. I mean, if you can see the main channel, because I can't. It's too much work sharing the screen on this StreamYard at the moment. Actually, no. Wait a minute. What am I thinking? I can do it. Just do it through the goddamn StreamYard, innit? And I don't have to then do it. Oh God, I gotta do this shit. Too much shit to put up with. Okay, hold on. Let me put this up. There you go. Why are incels turning themselves into girls? The rise of transmixing is a sign of things to come. There you go. This dude became this girl, although I'm not going to deny it. It's actually pretty convincing. I mean,
he was looking feminine from the start, probably.
Exactly. He was a very effeminate looking boy anyway, and he's just looking like more convincing as a girl now. But yeah, there you go. This is the shit that's happening. A new report from Sanjana. Anyway, Sonia Friedman at Pirate Wires documents a phenomenon that's been a source of discussion among the extremely online for a little while, and has now made it into the open. Transmaxing is a subculture of young men who embrace trans identities, not because they believe they are born into a wrong body, but simply because they can, and because they think it will make their lives better. It's a phenomenon that reveals more nakedly than ever before the true face of the cyborg era, a culture caught between increasingly powerful technology and the collapse of any coherent narrative about how best to use it to be for the good into a for the good into a general sense that all narratives are intangible. Fuck me. As Friedman tells it, the transmixers are strictly post-ideological after their self-remolding, at least compared to an official trans narrative, which draws heavily from 20th century civil rights discourse. In this view, gender identity is immutable, and trans people are just born that way. These basically, they're just transitioning in order to get more attention, because they know that women get more attention online. Women get more favorable progression in accounts, and in like the algorithms actually favor female channels more than male channels. All of these things basically give
unfortunately
advantages. They're not even gay. They want to get with women.
I know.
They're just transitioned into women.
Well, Banksy, unfortunately for them, sooner or later, at least I just have this thing that I can distinguish sometimes that even a hot trans woman from a a regular biological woman. You know, the voice. They always have this kind of a little bit raspy kind of a voice. I don't know how to tell you that.
It's true. They do. No, dude. You can always pick it up. But I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna come a time that it's gonna get less and less. I mean, if you look at dating apps, and I peruse the occasional Tinder from time to time just to see what the hell's going on, and now, even though I've specified my profile to say only women, I get these trans testicles pop up from time to time, and if I'm not careful, I might accidentally do a right swipe. I have to be real fucking careful. Now, occasionally, some of them in their bios put, "Please read," like the heading of their name or whatever, like a heading area. They say, "Please read my bio," and I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. Let me look at those hands a little bit more. Let me look for that fucking Adam's apple. And unfortunately, with Photoshop nowadays, you can erase all of that shit real easy. So I have to be like real scrutinize that photos, check out, see if our fucking hands can pick up a loaf of bread, but with a single grab. I am swiping left on that fucker. I don't care. I've swiped left on women who on pictures that I think were actual women, but you couldn't be sure. You just couldn't be sure. Just a bit too much.
One thing is for sure for me. I will be telling them to tell me a few sentences, and that will be the end of the judgment.
Wait a minute. Victoria said, actually, have you seen the short that the lads who pretend to be girls online, the voices? Oh my God, you can't tell. Oh, I see. I'll look that up, Victoria. Thank you. I used to only exist behind closed doors with an instant camera. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. The men have. You see, the thing is with men, we face the world as it is, and then simply try to find coping mechanisms for the world in which we find ourselves in. That's what we mostly do.
Yeah, adapt, get tough, or die.
Yeah. But the thing is, this to me is exactly what men would do. They would find a strategy to make life easier for themselves, and this is I'm actually not really particularly shocked the fact that men have discovered that it's easier to pretend to be a woman, dress up, and just effectively women. A lot of people say, a lot of gamers, they say women live life on easy mode. And I mean, I'm not saying that women live life on easy mode in every circumstance, but online, it is a fucking hell of a lot easier. The online tech companies cater to women so much more. They just simply do more for women. Hell, dating apps give women free fucking services that they don't give to men. If there's I don't know, some kind of check mark or some sort of like thing that you can, I don't know, a super like or something, women get that for free, but the men have to pay for it. It's like fucking nightclubs.
I know, and let me tell you another thing. By the way, maybe I'm the lucky one, probably because I have such a huge ego, and frankly, I'm an egotist. I don't tolerate much disrespect from women, and I'm not that thirsty for anything, online or offline. You get me? When I feel disrespect or some kind of a look down upon me, I already know that I want to go. Okay, time's up. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing. That is something that the pickup artistry and all of that. By the way, and this is something I have said before, but I mean, all this red pill manosphere stuff, it's just pickup artistry, just with a new name, new face to it. I'd be perfectly honest with you. I actually think that pickup artists they became too mainstream in the early mid 2000s, like 2007 to 2010. They became too mainstream, and they should have been underground, and they should always be underground, because this sort of stuff in modern world is never accepted, and feminists are going to lose their collective shit over it.
And let me, Banksy, tell you an example. I want to talk about this person too much, if any time at all, but there's so much time that we can have her as an example. You remember the Canadian? She started, I finished, and I don't want to talk ever again
Which
to her afterwards.
One?
the Canadian. You get me? Which one?
Are you talking about the young lady in on YouTube, Canada, the girl that we all know?
Yes, you
don't want to say her name? Shall I say her name? I think I know what you mean. Okay, but I think I know what you mean. Indian, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. What about it?
Well, she started once. I felt disrespected, and I felt the strange vibes from her, and it was already bye for that, because I knew that if I would stay longer, it would be even worse.
Yeah, but the thing is, that sort of thing doesn't really matter. That's a person that's thousands of miles away, and yeah, I mean, if you don't gel, you don't get on, that's fine. You just move on. I mean, on the internet, I don't feel that. Some people are.
But for me, it's a little bit different, Banksy. For me, it's a little bit different,
How?
Because I mean, to be honest with you, to those kind of women, the way they look, I have a weakness, to be honest. Let's say I'm more thirsty around them than the ones that I'm usually regular. You understand me? So to me, in a way, to me, it was an achievement, because I could just like that so easy say, okay, fuck off, bye, goodbye.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't hold too many issues with women who what's it called, with people that I meet online, and I certainly don't presume that I can actually get into any kind of relationship with anyone online. That to me is a bit ridiculous. I think people get a little bit carried away by some of that. I think because I mean I still to this day I know someone that I started talking to in like 2011 or 2010, and so we've been talking for like best part of 10, 30, 12, 13 years. At the beginning, in the first few months that we started chatting privately and stuff, we honestly thought we were in some sort of fucked up relationship. I swear to God, we were like, oh, okay, I'm going to come to America. She's American. We're going to live together. We're going to do this. We started planning all of this crap. And then, like, within a 48-hour period, my brain kind of woke up again and slapped me in the face. And like, what is wrong with you? You're not moving to America. What, are you insane? None of this shit is happening. There's some internet
I get it. Yes.
And so
I never thought about moving here or there or to Canada or to whatever. I didn't even think anything like that. I was just, my ego hurt. I because I really don't like when anybody's talking down to me, or especially if it is a woman.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that is a thing that we, as men, we have egos. But generally, come on, this is the internet. A person is 1,000 miles away on the other side of the planet. This is nonsense. You're not gonna get in a relationship.
It was more about me and picking up that behavior later on and putting it to the offline world, if you know what I'm talking about.
I know, but it's not realistic. The chances of that sort of situation working out is exceedingly low. So normally, you just chalk it up to this was some crazy fucking ideas in my head. We were never gonna actually make this thing happen. And
I was always a realist, especially after immigration.
Yeah, you wake
because
up
nothing will red pill you as a man. Nothing but immigrating to a wealthier country with the woman from your own. Nothing will red pill you more.
I see.
Red pill you more.
There you go. So yeah, that's what.
Like I was.
We have to we have to kind of acknowledge occasionally. Yeah, you're just getting a little bit too much. We're getting over.
But I mean, it's not only for women, but it is also for them. Put somebody in the power above you, or give them a higher status and position, and let them behave. And then we will know where you are standing, 100%. How those people really are.
100%. That is, to be honest, if you want to see the true kind of color, the true nature of a person, give them some power. Give them some power. I've seen it like so many instances, even in my chat, in my own YouTube chat here on the side chat. I gave Sophia Lewis. That's a good example. She's a great person, by the way. She's a lovely person generally, and I love her to death. But and you know how she was always screaming, I'm a free speech absolutist. I want everyone to say what they want to say. I made her an admin in my side chat. The amount of people she banned and blocked was unreal. It was unbelievable. I had to beg her to I had to go into my ban list and unban a shitload of people because she blocked and banned like fucking everyone. I'm like, you're the free speech absolutist. Holy shit.
What she really meant by that was that she is a free speech absolutist for herself.
Yes.
She doesn't tell you that.
But this is what I mean. This is why when Jordan Peterson says, if you were in the 1930s Germany and you were given that kind of level of power and sort of ability to do the things that they did, you wouldn't be any better. You think you'd be better? You wouldn't. You would do the same, if not worse, because most people don't realize how horrifically evil they can be through trying to be good, by the way. Most of the time they think they're doing the right thing. This is the way to be good, to serve your people. Most of those Germans, they didn't think they were doing something evil. They thought they were saving their people. This was for the good of our nation. This was to save our people. Even the guy with the little mustache, I don't want to say his name because it's a YouTube sensitive name, but even he thought he was doing good for his people. No one who does evil things thinks that they're evil. They're all Thanos. The reason Thanos was such a captivating bad guy in the last decades of Marvel superhero characters and all the terrible baddies that they had, the reason Thanos was the only one that people loved so much was because he believed in his heart that this was the right thing to do. This was the right move. There was no other way. This was the just and the honorable thing to do, and the courageous thing. By the way, he kept saying no one else has the courage to do what needs to be done. He thought he was courageous for wiping off half of the life in the universe, not even fucking on planet Earth, in the fucking universe. So that's what most bad people are. Most bad people do things for the right, for what they think is the right reason. This is what the wokeratis do. The reason they make the right appear as if they're evil is because they think they are the righteous ones. They think they're right. They've got the right answers, and anyone who opposes that is evil. They're not just wrong, they are evil. And that's how they justify the atrocities. If I can say you're the devil, then whatever I do to the devil is not a bad thing because I'm destroying evil. So if I take you and I say you're the devil and I rip you limb from limb, well, I'm just killing the devil. I'm killing evil. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just destroying evil. And who cares about how I destroy evil? I can destroy evil in whatever horrific means I choose to, because it's evil. Right? Yeah. That's why these people are the most evil. Those who think that they're absolutely right and that everyone else is evil if they don't believe what they believe. This is what makes them the most evil.
And it's getting worse and worse by the moment, to be honest. And now I think that not only the left, but also the right gone mad. Well, I'm sorry. They're really searching for an answer to all that wokeness. Even Jordan Peterson, even Tucker Carlson. I mean, when they are praising Russia now, they don't even understand that it's just the other side of the coin. They have wokeness from one side and traditional barbarism from the other.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean...
And it's...
oh, sorry, go on.
And I mean, really, there are really bad times, as I see, if they are that desperate. Because in a few months, they switch sides.
There you go.
I will never guess, and we would never think, because that even Jordan Peterson will say that those kind of that kind of a talking point. It is incredibly naive to believe that Russia can lose. I mean, like, did you read the history book, or did you just forget about it, or did you just ignore it?
Yeah, I know that most of these people are delusional about, especially some of the statements about how Russia is gonna. I mean, Russia. I think Ukraine is gonna potentially become Russia's second Afghanistan, where they won't necessarily lose, but they will leave because it's just not worth it anymore.
I mean, but I also see the lack of hope and the desperation that they want to believe that, because they see already the country in the east more like the answer to all that disarray, destruction of the Western civilization and wokeness. They just want to believe that there is something else that will give them salvation here on earth.
Maybe
from all that wokeness.
The thing is, one thing I will say about this situation now, we're delving completely, we've veered away from this relationship podcast, which I wanted it to be mostly about this Andrew Tate stuff. But one thing I will quickly say about the Russian situation, there was a guy who was like a political analyst or like a global political analyst. I forgot exactly where I heard him. I don't know, it was somewhere on YouTube, and he said the issue is, what do we do after Russia leaves? Because we can't let Russia leave and for the Russians and Putin and everyone to feel humiliated and crushed, because if that happens, then we are driving them to the arms of China, and Russia will become even more isolated, and they will unite with China in order to use their resources and abilities to further destroy the Western civilization, Western societies. So we have to make sure when Russia leaves, or Russia decides to finally pull out of Ukraine, that Russia is still welcomed to partner with the West, that they are not simply going to be excluded from having a relationship with the rest of the world, and especially the Western world, because we don't want them to be driven out and go to run to the arms of China. So we have to give them an out, but an honorable out, so that they still feel that, okay, we're not enemies, we're still friends, you can still work with us, you can still have deals, we can still have a relationship, because if they go to China and they completely become an isolated nation, and they then go and join China and Iran and all these dissident countries, and if they start forming a sort of union between all the people, all the countries that despise the Western countries, that's going to make a very, very dangerous and potent mix, which is not really ideal. It's gonna in fact be a greater danger than if we let Russia totally take over Ukraine. It might actually be better to let Russia take over Ukraine and make it part of Russia, and still keep Russia on side with the rest of the world, with the Western world, than to isolate Russia and have them lose Ukraine, leave in disgrace, and then through that disgrace and despair, become sort of what's it called? An isolationist kind of nation, and join China and completely cut out the West.
Unfortunately, this plan may not work, to be honest. In not isolating them. First of all, Ukrainians will be fighting them mad, because they did after Second World War. They resisted 10 years after that, and now when Russia is even weaker, you think they will not resist? That's another thing. And second, the countries that would be surrounding Russia, like mine, for example, will not stop giving them Ukrainians the weapons, because we're thinking, oh, maybe not to isolate Russia, they would like to also put us on the table for the Russians later on. Just to have friendly terms with Russia, and the people in Eastern Europe are like afraid of that thing. And let me tell you, if they would give us, it would be a clusterfuck bigger than Ukraine. I promise you that.
Yeah, I don't know,
because we hate the Russians even more here in Poland.
I can imagine.
In fact, let me tell you one thing. I can remember when the Russians were once complaining a few times to have a few Poles that, but you kill our Tsar, because there was one Polish terrorist in the 19th century that he killed the Tsar by blowing himself up near the Tsar when the carriage have arrived, and they were saying like to them, "We are glad about it. We kill him. We are proud of it because we shit on your highest sanctity and value, because the leader there is something sacred to them."
Yeah,
you know, that doesn't matter if the Tsar is the president of the general secretary. It's a sacred person. I mean, half godly to those people in their mentality. They would even tell you that everything is maybe evil around that leader, the corruption, those oligarchs, but he's still good. I mean, they ain't gonna blame fucking Putin for those mistakes in Ukraine, for the military quagmire. They will blame the military. I'm like, get lost.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I'm a bit uncertain about how this thing's gonna end. But however way it ends, it is far better for Russia to be able to have a honorable exit, so that they can still hold their head up high, than to have Russia be crushed and defeated and sort of Afghanistan style, because I think the rest of Western world should still keep and maintain a relationship. We don't want Russia running into the arms of China and arms of Iran and just simply isolate themselves.
I personally, from there where I live, I hope this war is going to be at least 2 years. It would take 2 more years to, first of all, to build the Russians out a little bit, to make them weaker, so that when we are buying weapons from Korea, you know, we are doing that. Will give us time, just in case when they will think about Putin's idea to withdraw NATO to the borders from 1997, because he had that thing. When we maybe kick out from it just to please them. So it is just to make sure we will be able to stand up to them. Have you ever thought about it? I remember everything. What he wanted to, what he get from all of that. Now when the Democrats are in power, it may not happen, but when they will leave, and they will, with some new president, everything's possible.
Oh, you mean, so you're saying that if Putin leaves, then all of this will be...
No, I mean, if when Biden will leave, when the Democrats will leave, when Putin will stay. Putin will fucking stay there, where he is.
I see. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna... Yeah, I mean, I suppose the next cycle of presidents, which is sort of next year... Well, it's end of this year, beginning of next year. It's usually September. Is it in 20... Yeah, it's 2023. So is it at the end of 24 that they have the elections, and then in the beginning of 25 is the new president that comes into power?
Yes, and we still don't know what will happen, because those are 2 years. We don't know what will happen in 2 years. It is a lot of fucking time.
Yeah, that's a long time. That is a long time, especially in politics. So yeah, no, it's gonna take. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while before.
But trust me, no Eastern European country, even if Ukraine will be given to them, will go willingly to their sphere of influence. And frankly, my countrymen, I'm sure, were even probably having plans to take a little. Go somewhere to Siberia, travel. Capture a few of their nuclear weapons and terrorize them, that we're going to send them to Moscow and St. Petersburg if they will not fuck off from us, because we have such military plans for that.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I know how to talk with those people. It's force, more force, and much more brutish force, because this is the only foreign language they understand the best besides Russian. So we will give them that.
Okay, let's circle it back to what Harris. Did you? Because I know you wanted to jump on some earlier on about when I was talking about Harris and Armin. So, what are your thoughts on the conversation that they had? Where do you think Vidu fell into this? Sort of how did he do in that situation?
Vidu is the enlightened one that want to enlighten to stubborn, arrogant idiots that. Think that if they just believe more into their blue pill reality nonsense, it will become reality. No. Vidu shouldn't waste his time. He should be working on himself.
Exactly.
Not even talk to them.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, Video is married. He's got children. He doesn't do his YouTube anymore. He's completely closed down his. Well, his channel is still up, but he's like completely like effectively stopped producing because I think there was too much heat on him because he obviously anti-Islam narrative that he had. There was a bit too much heat on him for that. So for that reason, he kind of wanted to step back a little bit from that entire.
And I know I also was once upon a time blue-pilled, but I mean, when I'm hearing guys that are sometimes older than me and my age, I'm in my 30s, being that blue-pilled, not only I want to cringe, but I want to rage at times because I'm sick of romantic naive idiots, and frankly, I despise romanticism, to be honest. I despise those fairy tales from Disney, like soap operas, Bollywood movies, etc. And when I hear those reality from men my age, I really would like to have a remote control and mute them for a moment, because I feel like they will try to pull me back to that shit, even if they don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just
and the fucking extreme that I recently heard, that they asked me, what would you do with it? Because I had this conversation, what would you do if there would be occupation of Poland again, and your daughter or a woman from your family would go out with the occupying soldier for that? And I would say, I would kick her out of the house and I would let her starve to death. Fuck her, if she would. Because I'm sorry, Banksy, but you know what the reality of occupation is? If you have read ever about it?
Yeah, no.
Such a woman.
Say again.
Such a woman is a very huge burden, not only to the family, because if the family will not do something to her, the community, the local neighborhood, the current community will do something to the family. In other words, how dare you allow your daughter to be such a slut? What kind of a father, what kind of a man in the family are you, a brother, etc., etc. And that's only one thing, that the family would be despised by the local community or society, maybe even town or city. If those news will go somewhere else, they may be excommunicate you or disown you, the rest of the other family. And this is only the best thing that will happen, but you'll be still alive, left to live. But if the partisans, if the guerrilla warfare of the country that is occupied will know that, they may want you to cooperate with them, and if not, they may want to fucking kill you, or that will be just the better option. They may only want to kill your daughter or shave her head for being this slut for the enemy. They don't give a damn if that's true love or not. Nobody cares. And I told them exactly that what I'm telling you, because Poland experienced occupation here and there, and I know how it was. And trust me, every woman that was with a German have her head shaven bald, and that was when she was lucky, because sometimes men could not stand it and just shot the bitch without any court, without anything. And nobody cared if it's true love or not. Nobody gives a damn about that in those times. People care about their survival. And people care how they will be looking like after the war, when the occupation army will leave. And that's even worse, because when they will leave, they will know what your daughter, what your wife, what your sister, etc. did in those times, and how she is treated and how she is perceived. If you stay with her, your life, man, will be hard, will suck. It's basically like this guy with Mia Khalifa, just on steroids. You know how his life when he was married to her sucked.
Yeah. Now
and so is life of a man married or being related to a woman that was basically a whore or whatever to an occupying soldier or a military.
Oh, I see.
Your life sucks.
Yeah, it does. But let me show you something. I don't know, actually. I think we've done a lot of. Okay, this I guess goes to the heart of these sort of the quandary of the progressive. The problem, for example, like Armin Navabi, he obviously promotes anti-Islam rhetoric all the time. Anti-religion. I mean, they run the website and the YouTube channel Atheist Republic, but they actually are constantly talking about, you know, how Islam is terrible, and they point out a lot of stuff about Islam because that's their main forte, not Christianity. So they point out a lot of stuff, and also, admittedly, though, they do cover Christianity and Hinduism as well, quite a lot on Hinduism, funnily enough. But either way, this is where the progressive hits. They say the unstoppable object hits the immovable force, the unstoppable force hits an immovable object. This is where Islam and progressiveness get all tangled up and screwed. Let me play the video and share the video with you. Actually, before I do that, okay. Let me change this for the audience so they can see it a little bit easier. Yeah, okay, so you can see it, I can see it, they can see it. Let me play this. Tell me if you can't hear it.
Ban on religious schools.
I can.
You can hear it? Okay. This is Sweden is putting a ban on religious schools, is accused of targeting Muslims.
Sweden's government has been criticized for enacting a policy that would seek to halt the establishment of denominational schools in the country, coming under fire for allegedly selectively targeting Muslim schools. Quote, "It is time to ban independent religious schools. The school should not be the place for religious schooling and encourage religious segregation. Neither Christian sects, imams, nor shareholders should govern the school," said Lisa Nabo, the Social Democrats Youth Union chairman. I don't know how to pronounce anything Swedish, just warning. Anadolu agency reported that around 20 schools in the country with an Islamic orientation were closed down since 2019, with only 3 remaining, 2 of which have filed a lawsuit against the Swedish government. The Islamic Schools Association has also claimed that the policy was motivated mainly by politics and hate against Muslims. Although Muslims criticized the policy, Christians also previously expressed their concerns regarding the bill. Fredrik Sindenvall, a Swedish priest and vice chairman of the Christian Independent Schools Council, described the tone of the proposal as approaching, quote, "incitement against ethnic groups and institutionalized bullying." So let's give some background. So in the background, in 2019, the government enacted a policy, and this was actually pushed forward by very strongly by the Social Democrat Party. And
in a nutshell, Sweden is clamping down a little bit on religious schools because they fucked up and they let millions of fucking Muslims into their country, and now they're shitting their pants because their atheist utopia has now turned into an Islamic shithole, and they're like, okay, we need to fucking make these people atheists. So we have to stop them from going into schools that are just strictly Muslim. Because funnily enough, they
good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, there is an old saying: import the third world, become the third world. You wonder why Swedish people, your society has gone to the shit, because back in, 2015, 14, 15, when the Merkel opened the fucking floodgates and let millions of Syrians and Afghanis and Iranians and Iraqis into Europe, and they all flooded your country, and you were considered to be the most woke of the woke. You were the most welcoming of the countries for the immigrants. Yeah, now people are burning your fucking car outside your door. That's what's happening. They're raping your children in the parks. That's what's happening. Yeah, you were the super country for immigrants. They called it. I forgot the phrase actually they used, but the Sweden was considered to be like the most welcoming to foreigners, to immigrants. That was their main thing that they were proud of. That we let them all fucking in. We love them all. Yeah, good luck now. Good luck with your fucking Muslim school bans. trying to force these people to become secular. That's what it is, really. The underlining message here is we have to make these fuckers secular, and we have to force them into some sort of, because Sweden and the Scandinavian countries for the longest time were predominantly non-religious. They were actually, always cited as the main countries in the world that are like 60, 70, 80% atheists. They had a very high atheist, non-believing numbers, statistics. But that shit's changed real quick now. So let me try and fast forward this a little bit.
It basically is about shutting down religious schools, so you're not allowed to create new religious schools, and it puts further restrictions on the ones that already exist. And this has been, enacted for, almost 3 years now. And of the schools that have been shut down under this policy, I believe 19 of them were Muslim, and that is a huge portion of the country's Islamic schools for children. And a lot of people are questioning the ways in which this goes about. Like, how did this happen, and why these schools are being shut down in particular? And so they're saying, oh, you're purporting, supposedly this is supposed to be about religious education in general, but we think you're just targeting us, or we don't believe your reason for shutting down our school is valid. Now,
see, this is where wokeness meets Islam. First of all, these people want to be woke. They don't want to be fucking like, oh, we're welcoming, we're progressives, we want that, we love the immigrants, but we just don't want you to be too Muslim because your fucking religion is really fucked up and it's screwing up our country. And you fuckers are burning shit down and killing us because we may have insulted your little prophet. So yeah, we like woke. We just don't want you cunts fucking up our nation because we like our country the way it is.
And the only way Sweden will get rid of its problem is, I cannot say it openly here because probably they're going to rip off your channel from this platform.
Gotta walk
going Serbia, in Bosnia, etc.
Yes, you're gonna have to go hungry on their ass. You gotta take a few leaves from Hungarians. Okay, let me keep going because I love it when Armin gets in on this, because again, the cognitive dissonance that these guys have is they've got this, they're woke, they're progressives, but they also don't like Islam. So it causes a short circuit in their brain. You can see the moment where, if you ever seen like a film where electricity suddenly just sparks out in a person's brain, where they sort of like they zoom in some movies and the person's brain, the neurons suddenly go zzz, short circuit. This happens with these fucking progressive types every time they have to deal with Islam and the fact that they want to be progressive, but also they don't like Islam. So they've got this short circuit that happens in their brain. Let's get to that.
It makes the story a little bit difficult to cover, is that most of the sources that I have found about this have been from basically religiously so like Jewish covering this.
Let's go.
When I've been looking into this, it's a bit difficult for me to actually determine how much bias is actually they are being like bigoted and biased in this, or because you're not providing the standard of education that we mandate. They said that like one school, here's a quote from the article. Quote, for example, in July 2021, authorities closed down Al-Azhar school in Orebro, arguing that a board member who had returned from a trip to Syria could be an Islamic State sympathizer and could radicalize the students, even though he had no criminal records.
Their board members go to fucking Syria and come back. What do you think they're doing? They're fucking grooming these kids to be fucking sleeper cells so that when the shit hits the fan, these fuckers will burn your cities to the ground. When they get the orders, they'll burn your fucking cities to a fucking dust.
They also shut down like a preschool because they said that they were going to like radicalize the children and stuff, according to this article. So I don't know. All this to say is like there's something going on here. I'm not 100% sure of how bad it actually is. Based on everything I've just told you, Armin, what is your reaction?
Okay, here we go.
I think
this is where his brain starts to fucking spark out. He's gonna fucking short circuit in a second.
Too little, too late.
I know.
It's very reasonable to not be
too little, too late. I just finished. When I'm hearing her about that stuff, really, my head hurts. Like, when did she even have those thoughts? I mean, a moment ago? What was she doing back then?
I know. Hey, Mustafa, big up, man.
Taking in miles and miles of schlong. That's what she was probably doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to discuss Susanna. I'm not interested in Susanna's thoughts.
I said probably. So
who knows?
So I didn't say that she did.
But I'm not really worried about the Susanna. I mean, of course she's got to be some kind of. I guarantee you, she's probably a vegetarian or some shit as well. And she comes across as these.
In the bedroom, she probably is very carnivorous.
But they're all very progressive. I mean, this is the thing with these types of atheists. These guys, although I like the work that they do and the criticisms they throw at Islam. But when it comes to this stuff, this is where they're progressive, because they're too fucking progressive. And I actually had a mini debate argument with Armin about the fact that when you discuss places like Iran and stuff, but they feel this, because I was on their channel, I was on their secular jihadists. It's hard to fully go in, like properly argue with them, because they're just going to kick you off the panel as being too aggressive.
I know.
I was just going to say you're full of shit. You're just straight up full of shit. But he aggressively basically told me to shut up in not so many words, in his tone. And so I just simply let him have his rant. But he was full of shit. He was full of shit when he was talking about the topic that we were at the time. So I've had a couple of, they do occasional call-ins with StreamYard, and I try to get on there. Now, admittedly, in those areas, Harris was a little bit more reasonable in that particular conversation, but I know that they're all of the same ilk, effectively. Ultimately, they're all full of shit with their progressive bollocks. In fairness, too progressive. The world and life is not fair. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Let me listen. Let's listen to Armin, because the moment his brain short circuits is coming up. Hold on.
Let's get the torture on.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to not be sure about, because I want to celebrate this. Like, I like celebrating closing down Islamic schools and Christian schools in favor of getting these kids to engage with the rest of the society. I want Muslim kids and Christian kids and atheists. I mean, technically there's no such thing, but kids from Muslim parents and kids from Christian parents and kids from atheist parents to learn in school side by side. So and not be educated in an environment where they're also being brainwashed with dogma. Okay, so I really like to be able to celebrate this. Okay, but we have to be suspicious about the intentions here.
There you go. There's the cognitive dissonance.
Oh shit!
That's the brain. That's the progressive brain colliding with effectively the rational brain.
And that's why.
Yes, we need to get rid of these fucking schools. And
that's why I always call them. And that's why I don't see much difference between communists and them in this case, because we want everybody together to be in the country, but we have to be suspicious about them preserving their traditions and customs that we don't like. We have to make sure that they will not. In the Soviet Union, every nation have its freedom. Every nation have its right to tradition, customs, religion. But until they knew that it will not work and it will be a clusterfuck and it will be basically a shit show, they started to Russify the hell out of the people there, just in a different form. Exactly. But let's start them return it.
Secular countries have a requirement to be fair. No, actually, they don't. They don't have a requirement to be fair. This is a misunderstanding. This is a progressive fucking concept. This isn't actually in any way law. They don't have the requirement to be fair at all. They can be very unfair. This is why Dubai and Saudi Arabia didn't take half the amount of refugees that the West had to take. The progressive Germans and the Swedes and all these other fucked up progressive countries.
Yeah, and told us to take those refugees like we'll be their colonies without our own agenda, our own decision making abilities. Like, okay, they are going to Poland, and we're like, hold a minute. Without even asking us, they wanted us to take them in. Like, I said, fuck you.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Turks had to take a lot of their refugees just for the proximity that they were with Syria. You know, they were next to Syria, so they started pouring in. But the Turks,
quite fair.
No, but the Turks are not treating them like Turkish people. They're not giving them the same rights. They're not even. They're gonna fucking turf them all back out if they don't fucking leave Turkey. Either they go to Europe or they fuck off back to Syria. Turks are not gonna keep them indefinitely in Turkey. That's for sure. And that's why most of those refugees that go into Turkey know that they have to make their way into Western Europe. So they start making their way through Turkey to the rest of to Eastern Europe, and then ultimately they want to get to a place like Britain, Sweden, Denmark, Holland, Germany, France.
The delicious, wealthy welfare states that they think will give them that welfare.
Exactly. So they know that the Turks are going to treat them like shit. So they can't stay in Turkey. So they know that they have to get the fuck out of Turkey. Where do they go? Well, they can't stay in Eastern Europe. Poland, you guys are gonna fucking kill them. Hungary is.
I mean, we will make their lives, how to say it, not as easy as in Western Europe, for sure.
Exactly, living.
Maybe not kill them, but they will feel the hostility because.
Sorry, I meant that in a joking way. But yeah, it's gonna be a horrific lifestyle. They're not gonna be able to survive in Poland. They're not gonna be able to stay in Poland.
Not to mention that we can be vicious trolls.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to stay in Hungary, in Romania, in none of these countries. They're not going to survive in these because, first of all, the people are not going to accept it. Second of all, there is no welfare anyway. The welfare is shit, so they're not going to be able to survive.
Great, I love it.
They're going to have to actually work for a living if they stayed in Poland and Hungary and Romania.
And to be honest, Banksy, as shit as the welfare is, I would abolish the rest of it to make sure, because it provokes the people's worst nature, as I can see it.
It does.
Single mothers are taking money from me. And I don't care if they are Polish or not.
It's true. But the thing is, I think welfare, you see, the idea is good as a safety net, that it will keep you from basically starving and being homeless. But
for the most people
it's meant to be at that level where it just keeps you from being, starving and homeless. Not that you can fucking live on it. It's not meant to be a retirement plan. It's not a job to be on the welfare.
That's what I'm talking about. For the people that really need it, for the disabled, for the old, for the people that really have bad luck in life. Exactly. Not for lazy, spoiled, entitled bitches that think that they are entitled just because they are babies spitting out machines and actually paying for their kids. In other words, the law. I mean, away a cuck because I'm paying for the children that I didn't even have the pleasure to make.
Yeah, precisely. Anyway, let me just play this a little bit more because, as I say, their progressive brain is now going to start to. You're going to start to see that in their brain there's a contention, there's a tug of war between I don't like Islam, but I'm a progressive. And I have to let these people, have their religion and their culture and all my progressive values. This is where the conflict between the progressive values.
Yeah, this is where too much weed and other drugs are taking in.
Yeah, let me just get into this a little bit.
Because Sweden has gone far right, if I remember correctly, right?
I see. See, immediately Sweden has gone far right. Okay, let me keep going. Before you come in.
I mean, I just hear a lot about how people are like, oh, Swedish people think that, or outside people think that Swedish people are all just like nice and friendly, but there's actually a lot of xenophobia that goes on.
Oh no, we can't have xenophobia because that is against the progressive agenda. So now what do we do? My brain is fucking melting.
And also the government recently just has gone radically far right. Their politics is also going far.
No, the people voted a conservative government because they didn't want the progressives to allow even more fucking immigrants to turn their country into a shithole. Their country is exceedingly unsafe now to live in. Rape has gone up. All the different types of crime has fucking gone up. They had a high trust society. They are becoming a third world shithole. They don't want that. The Swedish people who are still around They haven't fucking managed to flush them out yet. They don't want a shithole of a nation like the Middle East. That's why they voted in a conservative. That's why the whole of Europe is voting in conservatives and people like Marine Le Pen in France, because they can see it with their own eyes. Their children are not safe playing outside anymore. Their women can't walk the streets without being harassed by some fucked up Middle Eastern horned up fucking thirsty thirsty Arab. So they can't. They want their fucking lives back. They want their country back. It's literally
people don't want to be put to jail for tweeting the truth.
Yeah,
about it.
That as well. If they even, and that's the other side to it. They're not even allowed to complain. They're not voting right wing is essentially the Swedish way of saying, look, we don't want this. But they're not allowed to say it, because if they say it, they'll go into jail. So they have to vote conservative. That's the best they can do. The conservative parties are, by the way, all cuckolded as well. They're not real conservatives.
I know. They are conservatives, not conservatives.
Exactly. So they don't actually even have much of a choice there. But at least it's instead of voting in some liberal fucking party which will literally destroy their country within a few years, they may, with a conservative one, be able to extend how long their country remains before it's fucking flushed down the toilet. They're just trying to extend the inevitable, effectively. Not really going to stop it. It's just
yes, I know.
Pushing the brakes a little bit. That's all they're doing. But let me just go with this a little bit more.
Like the recent elections and stuff. So I don't know what the intentions are here. If this was, happening somewhere else, it would be easier to celebrate. Again, the intentions matter. Like, we can't just only look at what is being done. We have to also look at what intentions. If there was I would be more inclined to celebrate this if there was also more Christian schools being closed. Sometimes something.
Prior to the fucking last decade of immigration, Sweden was a highly atheistic nation. They rated as high as 60-70% in the atheist non-believing categories. They don't care. Christians have not been a problem. Christian churches and schools have not been a problem for Sweden. It's the Muslim schools that have been a fucking problem for Sweden. That's why they're closing down more Muslim schools than they are Christians, because the Christians have not been that much of a problem. They're already marginalized. They're already in the minority anyway, and they don't have any fucking issues. It's the influx, but something that you don't fucking hear these guys actually acknowledge. They're talking about Muslim schools and Muslim this and Muslim that. They don't say once it's the immigration that's the problem. The number of Muslims in that country has skyrocketed, and the number of Muslim schools being opened has skyrocketed. So it's a disproportionate amount of religious Muslim schools to Christian schools, and they're the ones that are causing the problems in the country. So they're trying to reduce their Muslim problem because they have a Muslim problem. They don't have a Christian problem. But no, that will fuck up my progressive circuitry in my brain. Armin can't fucking say shit like that.
I can already
fucking short circuit my fucking little brain.
That's what I have imagined when I hear this guy talking. I'm like, not only his voice sounds slow, but he sounds like he'll get a short circuit, and his eyes will only show the white stuff without. I don't know how we call it in English, the places that you really see in the eyes, but only the white stuff is going to be visible, and we will see the little tiny sparks or lightnings around his head. Because this guy sounds so slow to me, and not only the way he talks, his voice, but he really is back in time, 10 years in the past. He's so progressive that he stayed in the past with AIU kind of a nonsense on atheism.
He's so progressive, he's fucking got in a DeLorean. But anyway, okay, let me just get a little bit more in.
That is being portrayed as something with good intention, something that we support, right? Is
so if they close down the Muslim schools with good intentions, That'll be okay. It's just they're closing them down with bad intentions. That makes it wrong. The closing down is still closing down, by the way. You know that, right? That doesn't change. The closing of the school still remains exactly the same, with good intentions or bad intentions.
If it's being done for bad reasons, like sometimes, like, oh yeah, get religion out of school, but the actual intention is to make life difficult for Muslims in Sweden.
Yeah.
If that's the intention, then like I don't support it at all.
Yeah, I do. I make Europe unattractive to Muslims. That is my sole fucking goal. If I could make Europe the most unattractive place for Muslims to live, I will instantly do that. Instantly become the worst fucking place for a Muslim to be is Europe. That would be my entire fucking what's it called, manifesto for my political party. Islam not welcome in Europe. There you go. There you fucking go. If you want fucking militant, I'll get fucking militant.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I want these.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, go on.
What I want to just say is that this guy probably have invited this chick in hope that people will like this chick with glasses, or maybe will have a fetish for her, because the longer I listen to him, the less I want to listen to him, to be honest. The same progressive talking points, so-called progressive, of course, the same nonsense, and really, the more I listen to this guy, if you put me in the same room with him, after a few hours, I probably will be beating the shit out of him to make sure his intestines will become out-testines.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'll be choking him out in like 5 minutes flat. Thank God he's in Canada, because I would have to choke.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah,
that explains a lot.
In Canada, they're all in fucking progressive fucking countries, man. You think these guys are what? You think they were talking to us from Saudi Arabia? These fuckers all live in the fucking bastion of progressiveness.
I didn't know where exactly. I thought that he's just some kind of a random progressive from any Western country, but
they're in Canada. He has been
explains a lot.
Yeah, he's been in London. He's been to Speaker's Corner. I've seen him talk to Ali Dawa, Mohammed Hijab, and stuff. So he has actually been in London. He's gone to Australia as well. He's done some interviews back in the day before they started this sort of online sort of just talking online kind of format. Armin used to go around different countries and record videos in the real world and have some sort of real world conversations, and that's how he built up his fame. He became a bit more famous.
And Ali Dawa and Mohammed Hijab couldn't red pill him on Islam by their behaviors and the holy shit. There's no hope for this guy.
Yeah, the thing is, this is, for me, this was the problem. When I see him talking to Ali Dawa, although I agree with the way he approaches, Islam, and he tries to debunk all the Islam stuff, but when I see these two, it's like I don't want to be on either side of these two, because ultimately, even though Armin doesn't like Islam, he's adopted something for me worse than Islam, which is progressiveness. This progressive fucking ideology. I think that is actually damaging right now more to West than Islam is. The progressive ideology is much more destructive to Western civilization than Islam, because Islam can be potentially destructive in the future as the numbers grow. But right now, it's the progressives that are destroying the fucking West. It's the progressives that are
Marxism.
Yeah, progressive
will always destroy.
Yeah,
Marxism is all about destroying, especially the current order, the civilization that it is in. It's basically like a terrible disease. I mean, and it doesn't matter what kind of a Marxism. What is it? The mutated today's version, or is it the old style, fashioned Soviet one? Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It will destroy you later.
So this is why I'm more. I mean, this is where Ralph. I don't know if you remember. You remember Ralph, right? The guy who was like all white supremacy.
I do.
And all that.
The brown white supremacist.
Exactly,
Yes.
Exactly. He switched halfway through his little progressive, his progression from ethno-nationalism, he was all against Islam. He talked a lot of shit about Islam. He said a lot of fucked up. I mean, I've said fucked up things about Islam, but he said some shit that I didn't even say. That I went, whoa, fucking hell. So he said a lot of things about Islam, but then he realized halfway in that, like 2019, it was about 2019, 2020, towards the end of 2019, he realized he has to switch and give up on Islam, because Islam isn't the current issue. Islam is a potential future issue, but progressiveness and wokeness is the current issue, and it has all the power right now. So it has to be defeated, because if progressiveness doesn't get defeated, then progressiveness will allow Islam to grow in the West and become the dominant religion and the dominant ethos. So if you kill wokeness now, you can then kill Islam in the future, because Islam would never grow. You killed Islam at its roots here and now, so that it never gains any ground in the future, because you'll stop immigration, you'll stop the ideology from spreading, just like Sweden is spreading, closing down Muslim schools. All of that shit can be done if you get rid of wokeness right now. But you can't get rid of the Muslim schools if you're all fucking woke. This is exactly why Armin has got a fucking short circuit in his brain, because he wants the schools, the Muslim schools, to be closed, but he's now, but it's not the right intentions. We can't do it because it's not based on a progressive agenda. It's been done on a conservative agenda. That's why he's
like the Soviet communists that didn't want to introduce the free market and other stuff that would liberalize the Soviet economy, because it is against the socialist, communist Soviet agenda. And how that went for them? Oh yeah, thankfully for us, the Soviet Union is no more. We have Putin's Russia, but I hope it will collapse on itself and fall apart. But that's only my hope. Yes, you cannot expect from me to wish them well in Ukraine. Sorry.
Well, D says nonsense. Now, I would love for D to actually get on the panel and tell us more, or you can.
Yeah, I also would like to hear her.
I would love anyone in the chat. Feel free. There's the link. The link is already pinned at the top. Anyone wants to come and give us their insight into why you think this is nonsense, I'm happy to hear it. Nobody wants to fucking hear it, and then they disagree in the text. It's like, okay, disagree in voice. Tell me why. Convince me otherwise. But either way, yeah, this is the problem. These guys, it might be she's saying nonsense to the, are you off your DM? I can't.
If that is a she.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know. But the other issue that I'm having is Sepid is trying to find me on Twitter. Dude, it's just Banksy Style UK on fucking Twitter. What more do you want? It's at Banksy Style UK. I've given it to you. Just type that in the search. You should get my name to pop up, right? I should do. Yeah, it popped up. It frigging popped up. It's my tag on Twitter. I can't. There you go. Let me see if I can give him. There you go. Type this in the search and see what you get, Sepid. But I'm there, and my DMs are open. You can DM me. I've never blocked anyone. You can follow me. It'll tell me that you've been following me. Just find me on there, man. Anyway, moving on. So yeah. So let me play this. It's only like a few more minutes.
Schools to be closed, while also making Sweden feel more. I know it's hard to do that, but I would like to see a way to make Muslims in Sweden feel like this is their country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not like the government is targeting them, right?
Oh fuck, they feel it's their country.
People in this article that I was reading was saying that like when they're able to, they're going to take their children to a different country to receive Islamic education.
Good. Go. The Swedish people absolutely love this. In fact, this is exactly what I want Britain to do. If that's the case, let's do it in Britain immediately, so that these people can take. I bet you what though, MC, they won't take it to fucking Syria. They won't take their kids to Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Tunisia, all these Muslim nations. No, they'll go to Germany. They'll go to fucking Denmark, Netherlands, Iceland.
Okay, speaking of progressives and speaking of communists, Bernie Sanders was praising the Soviet bloc, the USSR, etc. Any other communists from this or that country have praised the USSR and the Soviet bloc, but they had one thing in common, just like the progressives have when they're praising also another shithole or hellhole from somewhere else besides the West. You know what is that? They will never ever go there and live there.
Yeah.
They will never leave us alone.
Of course. They praise all the places that supposedly have their ideology, but they'll never live in those countries. So they'll, you'll never see Sanders living in China, never living in I don't know. Is Vietnam? Vietnam is still a communist nation, socialist nation. You'll never see them in Vietnam. You'll never see them in North Korea. You'll never see them in Venezuela. They don't want to live in the countries that run their ideology.
I have to tell you this phrase, but that's not real socialism or communism.
Yes, and also that's why these Muslims will never go to a Muslim country either, because, well, Egypt isn't a real Muslim country, even though they are like friggin' 90% Muslim. They have Muslim schools all over the place. You can worship and study Islam to your heart's desire. Oh no! Some of the oldest Islamic universities in the world are in Egypt. Some of the oldest mosques in the world are in Egypt. But they won't go to Egypt. They won't go to Morocco.
I will have to tell the muftis and the imams in Egypt one day. Hey, the Muslims in the West claim that you are not real Muslim countries. Yes. Explain that. I will have to say that shit, to be honest.
Yes, exactly.
Just for fun and giggles.
Go to fucking Yemen. Go to Qatar. Go to Oman. There is literally 54 Muslim nations in the world. But I bet you'll take your kids out of Sweden and go to fucking Denmark. Actually, no, Denmark isn't accepting them either. Denmark is becoming quite hardlined. They'll probably have to go to Germany or maybe France. Even France isn't particularly comfortable. Most of the ones in France want to come to fucking Britain, and this is where again we end up in the shithole that we are in. In the shit that we're in. Britain is still
like
like nobody's business.
I mean, like the leftists in your country and the progressives would like to take revenge on you for leaving the European Union, saying, we will fucking show you, we'll make the immigrations even way worse than it was under the EU.
Exactly. But also, there was a report recently, which I have to go find it actually, but I can't be asked now. Majority of rich people, upper middle class, are now leaving Britain. There is a major exodus of upper middle class to rich individuals. Their children, they're all leaving because the government in this country subsequently, as well as potentially the next one, which is most likely to be Labour, are gonna tax the living shit out of anyone who has any kind of money. So the rich people, being rich, have all the money and resources to make sure that they have immigration, they get their visas, they get their passports, whatever it is they need in another country. They get houses because they've got the money anyway. If you're rich, you can go buy a fucking house. You can rent a house for 10 years in I don't know, friggin' Bahamas, South America, South Africa, wherever it is that you think you can live a comfortable life. They're not going to stay in Britain. They're getting the fuck out of Britain. Basically, that's what they're doing. Wherever they're going, they're not staying in Britain.
And John, and not only the rich, to be honest.
Yeah, anyone who can afford it. But the thing is, the rich are the first to exit because they're the ones who've got the resources.
I know, but many of my countrymen also, if they are not returning to Poland, they are saying that they are leaving this country for another one. I mean, they immigrated to Britain in the early 2000s. Some of them later on, but they're also telling me that this country is finishing itself.
Yeah, it's literally like a suicide. It's like a fucking what do you call it? A Japanese pilot in World War II.
Kamikaze.
They're kamikazing their own fucking country.
Kamikaze.
And we're like, holy shit, dude, you are literally committing subaku. by the way, we're still here. We're still living in this fucking country. We would like to be able to keep living, but yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. They are the government of this country is literally destroying this country with its own hand, and the rest of us are just fucked. We're just having to just basically try to build an exit plan. I mean, I'm perfectly honest with you. I am genuinely. That's why I'm not spending much money. I've cut out women, especially in the last 2 years. I saved so much money when I cut out women. It was unbelievable how much money I suddenly saved. Now, I still went out on a few dates because I still need to get laid occasionally, at least a couple of times a year. I just unfortunately but
you already
everything.
But I can see that you already are planning and executing your evacuation plan.
Slowly, but I'm gathering all the finances that I can and try to look at what I can liquidate and slowly build up a plan to be able to be in a position where if the shit really hits the fan quickly, I can get the fuck out quickly. But if I can see it coming and I can plan ahead, then I'll start looking at immigration elsewhere. Now the problem is it's difficult. I mean, if I could get to like Miami, Florida, that's somewhere my brother's been considering buying a house. He's been looking at buying houses in Miami, but that's because he loves fucking Disneyland and he's a blue pill cuckold. But the state is actually quite a red pill state. It's a red state. It's a conservative state. So maybe Miami would be a place, and I've got some potential links that I could get, for work and stuff in Miami because some companies I deal with have offices. So there is a chance I could actually get work and everything as well. So Miami is looking like a potential go. The other places, I mean, a friend of mine talked about Solomon fucking Islands. I don't even know anything about them. That's the problem. I don't know their immigration policies or anything. But yeah, people are looking at John Cleese, I think, went to the Bahamas or to Jamaica. People are looking at those sort of places. People are looking at, because they know Canada is like fucking worse than Britain. Canada is committing suicide quicker than Britain is when it comes to this wokeness. So Canada's fucked up. America is a mixed bag because of the way America is set out, the states and all that. So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
They still have a chance to survive, to me.
Yeah, they've got some chances. South America, again, it's not very good. It's not safe. It's very dangerous. Most of the countries are exceedingly poor and dangerous places to live. I don't know about South America. Now, I will say this. A friend of mine is in Kuwait right now, and he's been to Dubai several times, and he says Dubai is the future city, man. They are making that place exceedingly welcome. It's a tax-free country, so any money you make is tax-free. Second of all, they have now reduced the tax because the tax on alcohol was exceedingly high. Them being kind of a Muslim country. They've cut it down to 30%. It used to be like 70%, something like that. They've cut the tax down to 30% on alcohol. So in order to encourage more people to come, because foreigners, they want to drink, they want to party. And so, yeah, the Dubai government is making Dubai exceedingly accessible. You can, as a British person, you don't even need a visa. You just go. I mean, I've been there. You just go and they just stamp your passport. Except every, 3 months, if you're going to be there, you have to just leave Dubai and come back in. That's all you need to do. And they've made it so easy. You can drive to this place. My friend was telling me you can drive and just go over the border for literally 20 minutes and then come back and they'll get a new stamp and you're good for another 3 months. And it's like you don't even have to fly to another country or do anything ridiculous. You literally just take a day trip to this place. I forgot exactly where it was. It's some sort of border with another country. You drive over the border. They stamp you as you drive out. Go have lunch. Come back. They stamp you. You're good for another 3 months. That's it. They made it really easy to stay in Dubai right now. But admittedly, you're going to have money. You're going to have to earn your money somehow because they're not going to give you any benefits. There are no benefits. There are no safety nets. There's none of that shit. Your healthcare, your housing, everything is on you. If you have money, you do well. If you can make good money, you do well. But if you're going to go to Dubai and expect a handout and be one of these fucking beggars, you're fucked. They won't give you a penny. You have to pay for everything yourself. So that is a catch. But to be honest, given the state of Europe and its bullshit benefit system, it's going to collapse anyway. The benefit system in Britain is gonna fucking collapse. The healthcare system, the health NHS is on the verge of collapse right now. It's practically unusable. I've got private for the company I work with. I've got private healthcare because I don't trust the NHS. I don't go to the fucking NHS. If I get a cut on my fucking arm, I'm going on my hand. I'm gonna go to a fucking private doctor. I'm not going to the NHS. So fuck that. I'm asking a fucking £1,000 an hour nurse to put a fucking plaster on my fucking finger if I get a cut. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to a doctor for anything that happens to me. I go to private clinics, private healthcare, Bupa, all that shit. So I don't use the NHS. I just pay the fucking tax for something that I can't use really. Even my mum tried to use it. She couldn't use it, and she's getting elderly, so she uses it, needs it a bit more. But she wasn't getting the stuff she wanted. We have to get her private healthcare now. She's got private healthcare, and us brothers, effectively put that together for her, so that we don't have to worry about her having to go to some NHS bullshit, because it's bullshit. It's not fit for purpose. We can't use it anymore. So why the fuck am I paying the tax? At least give me my money back. If I can't use the thing that you're taxing me for, then why am I paying for this shit? Give me my fucking money back. I'll go private, which I am already. So this is what's going to happen. People are going to they're going to be pushed to go to private healthcare more and more in Britain. Eventually, there'll be literally no one that uses the NHS anymore. It'll just be the very poor who are on benefits. And
well, just as I predicted, because I also have bad experience with the NHS. When I had this my leg injury, I mean, in the workplace, when they tell me to take those painkillers and whack it off, when I couldn't move that leg at all in any direction because it was crushed, I was like, okay, give me a fucking break. And I took in my money, returned to Poland. They fixed me in a private surgeon. I have fixed it. I can walk, I can jump, I can do whatever I want to. But if I would stay there, I probably wouldn't have that leg anymore.
You see what I mean? This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit, man. And
I know, because every universal healthcare institution sooner or later will deteriorate and will become like mine in the Eastern Bloc. In other words, if you want to die, or go to a butcher, and don't go to healthcare institution because you're going to regret it. You are the intruder there. It is take it or leave it. Fuck off. You are disturbing those people from doing their activities. I was doing nothing or watching porn.
Yeah, man, it's fucked up. So that's what I was saying. I'm just looking at least having an exit strategy, even if I don't necessarily exit. Maybe this country can be saved. I don't know, but I've certainly got an exit strategy, and me and my brothers are looking into exit strategies because we just don't know. We can't trust Britain to be a safe, secure place to live anymore. I mean, Andrew Tate, he himself says he thinks London is an absolute shithole. He can't wait to get out. As soon as he just came for some interviews. He has to walk around with like 4 or 5 bodyguards now, because his watch is like £500,000. He can't walk around London with a £500,000 watch. You're going to get fucking mugged in a heartbeat. So, yeah, he walks around with bodyguards. Or anytime he comes to London, he has to hire a bunch of bodyguards, or I guess he brings them over with him from wherever he's at. And then does a few interviews. He did like Just Pearly things. He did Talk TV with Piers Morgan. He did a few others, and then boom, he was on a plane and he was back. Admittedly, he went back to Romania and then got fucking taken down and taken to jail. He should have probably flown to Dubai. He shouldn't have stayed in. He shouldn't have gone back to Romania, but he did, and he got screwed. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that unfolds. I think. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think the Matrix does not want him to to have any kind of influence and power anymore. Clearly, he's not going to shut up. They're not going to be able to keep him from speaking out. Maybe,
and that's why I think that there will be an age of tyranny for a while, because Andrew, unlike me, unlike people that were born into the ex-Soviet bloc, we know that we shouldn't be even saying things out loud on social media when we are in a safe countries like Romania for his quote unquote criminal activity that they have done. And when we see shit like that, because our memories start to kick in. I would never ever admit to the things that Andrew admitted on social media. Even if it's not true, even if it's I don't know if it's made up, but I just can't see if it's made up. Not give you any kind of idea to lock me up, because I know that in British law, if you commit a crime outside of Britain, somewhere else that is a crime in Britain, man, you fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I read the law. and jurisdiction, to be honest, with Britain. That's how it is, unfortunately. So I will be really cautious. Why do you think you don't see my face on the internet? You don't see me being famous, etc. On saying those things? Because frankly, I'm sometimes afraid that because those times are getting worse and worse, that I can be even arrested in another country for committing the crime of saying something that is a crime in that country. I mean, in Britain, as sure as I am now, in the position that I am, I probably have multiple police visits right now if I wouldn't be arrested for life, for everything that I say, proclaim, or even wanted to do when I describe it.
100%. I mean, I can see potentially a day where these European countries homogenized to such an extent that if you said something on, let's say, you were in America, you live in America, you put something on Twitter in America, you fly over to Australia, to Germany, and they'll fucking arrest you. Actually, no, I take it back. It's already happened. What am I talking about? It's already fucking happened. Lauren Southern was banned for going back into Britain because of her media because of the media profile and the stuff that she said on YouTube. Who else got banned? A bunch of people have been banned from going to Australia because I think it was it was Lauren Southern and Stephen Molyneux. I think they got banned from going to New Zealand because they were doing a tour of Australia and New Zealand, and I think they got banned from going into New Zealand because of the social media comments and the people complaining in New Zealand, and New Zealand being a cuckolded nation. That's another cuckold nation like Canada, and they banned Stephen Molyneux and for being dangerous, for the dangerous commentary that he made in online. So already it's happened. They won't arrest you. Because I thought that I was going to say you can say something on Twitter in America, fly over to Germany, and then they arrest you in Germany because what you said on Twitter was illegal in Germany. But they won't do that. They'll just simply not allow you entry into Germany. They'll just stop you at the border and send you right back because you said something on Twitter in America. That's happening already. It's not even that it's what's it called that it's like a future event that I'm predicting. It is literally happening right now, and it's going to get worse. And it's not going to be, because right now it's only for these famous people. So like Lauren Southern or Stephen Molyneux or Avi Yamini, he was banned from going into America. He was deported at the border. Same as Tommy Robinson. He went to Mexico. He got sent back. Now these people are famous. They've got big profiles. They're relatively famous. So you think to yourself, okay, fair enough. But I promise you, there'll come a time where if you only even have 100 followers on Twitter, 50 followers on YouTube, they'll pick it up. The system, the algorithm will just pick up the things you're saying and automatically report it to the respective governments. And then when you fly over to that country, they'll just reject you. I'm sorry, your tweet on the 16th, which got 4 likes, was illegal.
Yeah, even Lawrence Southern admitted that she regrets that she didn't make an alter ego on the internet for herself, to be not that famous as she is now. She in a live stream with the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, some other thing from today's Carl Benjamin and this other guy. Just she didn't spoke with Carl back then, but she admitted that. So I'm like, okay, I know where this is going, and I would rather be like the Agent 47.
Yeah.
I prefer that people would think that I don't exist too much. I mean, they can see this avatar or other thing. I mean, some alter ego and me in a fucking costume, because I don't want my face to be known.
Dude, they're not. See, this is the thing. Right now, I mean, I've still got a nickname, or you could say I'm still semi-anonymous on social media. I actually today I put my real name in Google just to see how my internet footprint is like with my real name. And in fact, not only my real name, my real job title as well, the company I work for, it came out with nothing, not a fucking thing, nothing relating to me. I was like, every time I do that and I get nothing, I'm like, yes, I'm still fucking anonymous. I'm still holding my shit down on the internet. So my footprint in my real identity is still fairly well protected because I've got so many different fucking levels of security implemented. But it's not forever. This is a temporary thing. They will eventually make people not be anonymous anymore on the internet. Right now, there was a bill proposing that every company that you sign up with these, Google, YouTube, Twitter, you have to show a government ID in order to sign up with them. They're passing a law in America, in one of the states in America, where if you want to access any porn sites, you have to sign up with a official government ID. Of course, they're idiots because they don't realize that you can just jump on a VPN and go to any site and circumvent that in like 10 seconds. But this is coming. They will no longer allow you to be anonymous on the internet. Your internet activity is going to have to be under your real name, with your real IDs, all that shit, because otherwise you won't be able to use. I mean, what happens if I can't use YouTube? I mean, sure, there will still be outlier sites which you can go to, which won't abide by these rules. But the mainstream ones, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all these, they're going to force them. The governments are going to, these wokeists are going to force people to no longer be anonymous on these platforms. I think it'll be the death of those platforms, and I'll be honest, I can't wait. I'm more than happy for these platforms to die, or certainly be taken down a few levels. But they'll enforce it on all these sites. They won't enforce it just on the main ones. They'll also try to enforce it on Rumble and Odyssey and all the other sites as well. And eventually, yeah, they'll do it. They'll take away your anonymity. You'll no longer. I have to call you by your real name and not MC anymore. And you're going to have to call me Muhammad Abdul Muhammad. Which is my real name, of course.
Yeah, just like mine would be, but nobody would pronounce it anyway. I mean, try it. Krzysztof Kostrzyk-Czerzejewski. I dare you to pronounce it right.
You're known as the enema of Islam.
What the fuck Polish name it would be, and they would still could not pronounce it, so they would be like a little bit too tired and upset. There is even this an old scene from a Polish movie when the Wehrmacht soldier tried to type it down on the writing machine. The guy's name, and he always. Yes, and the guy told him his name, not like I have told, because this is mine made up. In that movie, it was like Name and phoname, the name and surname, and he's like Grzegorz Brzęczyszczykiewicz. It's even on YouTube now. It's like, and he cannot not even pronounce it. He cannot type it. And when he finally does it, he finally succeeds. He's asking him, okay, where were you born? And he's like, Szczemko, Rzeszewszczyce, County Łękołody. Fuck. Imagine me trolling them like that, because I can have this excuse that my language is basically one big clusterfuck that I'm born into.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. Eventually, they will force people, or the majority. I mean, obviously there will still be outliers like people like me who will find other. I mean, there's like 100 different platforms I can jump onto. I'm not joking. I mean, literally 100 chat platforms that I can
Banksy,
jump onto.
I would like to ask you for only one thing for now. Do you know where to download Linux? Because I try and cannot find that anymore.
Yeah, but which Linux? Which flavor? Linux.
Whatever one, to be honest.
There is a lot of Linux, dude. Whatever you want. I mean, if you want Fedora, if you want Debian, if you're after Kali, if you're after Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat. I mean, there's like 50 different versions of Linux. It all really depends. I mean, I would say, what do you want to use it, as a server or as a desktop?
Well, it'll be both with time, of course.
Well, the thing is, okay, for me, if I were to pick, I would pick as my desktop Linux OS, and I really did try to make it my full-time desktop. I just couldn't, because there's too many Windows facilities that I need. So there was just too many Windows things like Adobe and other things that I need to use, which wouldn't run on Linux, and I couldn't use it through virtual machines either. Virtual machine was a bit shit, especially with multiple monitors. VirtualBox isn't great for that. So I couldn't stick to Linux as a full-time desktop. But if I were to pick one as a desktop, I would pick Mint. Mint Linux is really good, and you could just type it. You could just type Mint in search and Google, and you'll get it. Pop is a very secure one. Pop Linux is a very secure one. It puts everything you load into its own container. So if I load, let's say I load, I don't know, any application. Let's say I want to load a Google Chrome browser. Now, the browser itself wouldn't run generically across my system. It will run in a contained area, in which if the system wants to access, if the browser software wants to access any other part of my system, it doesn't have access to it. It only has access to the resources and information that it requires in order to run, but it doesn't have access to my system as a whole. So it can't put cookies in my place where I don't want it to. It can't fuck around. It can't interact with any other software. It's really closed off to what it can do. It's really secure. It's people like Edward Snowden use like Pop because they're paranoid as fuck of applications having all sorts of what's it called? All sorts of worms and hydras and shit that they want to access, all sorts of malware and all that shit. So that's Pop. The Mint is beautiful. Mint is a beautiful software for a desktop. For a Linux desktop. I tried Ubuntu for a while. I was using Ubuntu for a little while. Ubuntu has fallen short a little bit. In recent times, Ubuntu is not as good as it used to be. It's become exceedingly difficult to configure the network cards without a desktop. The server version is shit. I tried literally 2-3 weeks ago to use the server version. Installed it, set it all up. It was a horrible nightmare to use. So I deleted it and I installed CentOS. Now, CentOS Red Hat. CentOS is effectively a clone of Red Hat. But Red Hat is the more paid version and professional version. But CentOS runs almost exactly the same things and the same kernels and all that. CentOS for server is brilliant. I love it. I will use that all day, every day for servers. Because you can run the CLI and the command prompt stuff really easy. It's just dream. But it's not really great for a desktop. I wouldn't use it as a desktop. It's got a GUI. You can get a GUI for it. But Mint as a desktop, it looks so beautiful. It looks so fucking good. I downloaded the Mint wallpapers off my Mint Linux installation and use it on my Windows. Because the desktop looks so nice. It's just beautiful to use, that fucking thing. Let me see if I can get a copy of Mint's images to show you.
Wow, thank you for the information.
How come you wanted
to use... There's only one step for me.
How is it that you wanted to
later
use
on
Linux all of a sudden?
Why? Well, whatever they're going to declare as a law that you cannot be anonymous anymore. Well,
I'm with you.
I am not going to give up that easily, and if I will ever go to jail for that, so be it. I am not going to give up anonymity, and if that means breaking a few laws as they establish, so be it.
I'm with you. Okay, let me
let them work hard for figuring out who the hell I am.
I'm with you. Yeah. Let me show you my Mint, the Mint sort of desktop. This is some images. These are not live, obviously. These are just some images of the Mint desktop, but it's so clean. The background images that they use are so sharp and it just looks so nice. I love this kind of look about Mint. This is the site, Mint Linux. You can just download it, boom, download install instructions, download the site, boom. It takes a minute to install. To be honest, it's really, really easy. But it is such just a beautiful what's it called? Just a beautiful desktop to use.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah, let me see if I can get damn it, these images. Let me just see if I can load the images properly. I mean, these are just wallpaper images. That's not really the big thing. It's the way the icons, just smoothness of the icons, the smoothness of the like the start bar. You can put it at the top, you can put it at the bottom. This is like the one at the bottom. It's just the way just to use it. It's just, I thought it was so just attractive to me. So yeah, Mint is definitely the one I would use for a desktop. The only problem with it, with Linux, is its compatibility with other applications is limited still. It's heavily limited. So you can't be as flexible. You can't really do a lot of the things you can do with Windows. Now, admittedly, I have to check. I don't know yet, but I think there's because I started using because previously I was always using Adobe applications for editing. Adobe Premiere, Adobe Acrobat, all that, Adobe After Effects for editing software. But recently I started, a few months ago now, I started using a program called DaVinci Resolve, and that has changed my fucking life. It is such a brilliant editing software for free. It's 100% free. There is a paid version which you get some more features, but 99% of the features are available for the free version. So you get a free editing suite as powerful as Adobe and Final Cut for free. It's unbelievably brilliant. The only thing is that I don't know if it's available for. Let me check if it's available for. Oh shit, dude. I gotta go. My computer's about to shut down. Holy fucking God. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Peace out.